Can't believe I stream for these people. Okay, that kind of sets the tone for it, right? Let's get this underway. Maybe even get rid of starting shortly ahead of time for once. It could happen. It's Factorio, it's 100% Deathworld, getting all the achievements in the patented one-shot manner. So what better way to do the final stream than by hijacking my weekly one-shot Sunday, making this the 327th weekly one-shot. I think the criteria here are quite clear. I must get express delivery, meaning I must reach the edge of the solar system before playtime hits 40 hours. There are still many tasks for us to do. The most pressing is to build a factory on Aquilo. When we landed on Aquilo, we just barely got basic heat and ice production going, but we need to produce lithium plates, fluorocetone, the science, the quantum processors, the railguns, potentially more energy, in fact almost certainly more energy. And that horrible spaceship that we made is probably going to have to make a few journeys, because we're going to need, more carbon fiber, we need to bring the science back, and we need to get ready for the journey to the solar system edge, and all that needs to be done within 6 hours and 20 minutes. That's a bit grim. Maybe take a moment to think about what got us this far. At the very start of the game, we put ourselves a tiny little flimsy pipe wall up, armed ourselves with a few dozen grenades, and defended our paltry base, mining into wooden boxes, whilst we got on track like a pro. That was the initial achievement, to get a train put onto tracks within 90 minutes, which is an extremely heavy time limit already, made even worse by the fact that we couldn't destroy any biter bases. But I have never in my life failed GOT-lap. And we got it done in an amazing time. We only took 76 minutes. I've seen other people fail GOT-lap quite a bit, and it brings me no end of amusement. And then there was a lazy bastard firing off a rocket within 8 hours. We got that done at the 7.5 hour mark. We did build a very, very basic bus for that. And kind of an almost normal looking factory, but it was getting spaghettified as we just sling things in for the purpose of getting the rocket up. I naively thought that once we had one rocket up, it's going to be a quick journey off to the other planets and get things done, but actually it took quite a bit to set up space science and a second rocket, smooth out things for the base, automate repairs for the base. Oh, that took quite a bit of time. So by the time we were at Fulgora, another 5 hours had passed. How long did we spend on Fulgora? I think it was at least 4 hours, because by the time we hit Vulcanus, yeah, there we are at 16.5 hours by the time we were here. And I thought, okay, Vulcanus, this shouldn't be too hard. The planet is severely overpowered. It took me an annoyingly long time to bootstrap the base, even with just hand feeders and general purpose foundries, and completing the base took another 5.5 hours. But we made some cool things. We made the Make Everything network, push a button, receive goods. I really like that setup. And then I thought, okay, with this done, what did I budget at this point? At this point we had 15 hours left. Let me check my own notes. What did I even say on that one? It says that I had 4 hours budgeted for Gleba, and then 4 hours for fixing Novice, and then 6 hours for Aquilo. But that's already 16 hours of the 14.5 that I have, and another 1 hour for Solar System End. Yeah, didn't have that time anymore. So we switched out, and what we did was we got Gleba done in, I think, under 2 hours. Sadly, there's no lovely screenshot here of our completed Gleba base, but we will no doubt be going and taking a look at it real soon, because I still need carbon fiber, and I may want the stack inserters that I set up there. I'm contemplating putting that onto the new rocket ship, and I probably will if we're making a journey there anyway. And then, of course, building this ship and getting it functional took way too long, and getting over to Aquilo and bootstrapping that took another hour because I forgot my stuff. So basically, life is bad. Need to do the edge within the time first, wasn't it 40 hours? That's right. We need, the whole challenge here is reach the solar system edge before the playtime hits 40 hours. You won't go for the non-grinding timed achievement, says Bazija. No, we'll definitely do that on stream, but the stakes won't be there. I could take 50 years real time doing that and it could still be successful because there is no fail condition. the entire factory could be completely razed, and the factory engineer could die. Wait a second, there is one fail condition. It's ridiculous, though. If you had all of your factories completely destroyed or dismantled, and you landed on Aquilo with nothing, and you destroyed your spaceship, then you would soft lock yourself, because you have no resources on Aquilo, and you have no automation set up to bring in supply fleets or get you off the planet. So yeah, I think a soft lock is possible, but I wonder if the devs have considered that and given you a respawn on novice button. I don't know. I think Illustravid's cottoned on to why I'm yapping so much at the start here. I'm letting that gambling time run down a bit so you don't have a lot of information to bet on win or lose here. Shark Killing Coconut says, as always, I'm sad I can't gamble. Well, that's what the VPN is for. You only need to change your country for a few seconds, make your bet, and then come back to whatever hellhole you're from. Probably Dutchland or Sweden. Those are the places that block, to my knowledge. Chefrin in Egypt says, Jake will bake the time-gated achievement, and then we'll have the real stream of green chip content. Now, the green chips are no problem. We can make those en masse on Fulgora from, well, pretty much nothing. Okay, right. Quick drink before we get started. Although maybe I should actually think. Star Sector's kind of made me not want to think ever again after that plodding story. Good game, but plodding story. Looking at this screenshot, what can I ascertain needs to be done? Well, there's one thing that you can immediately see. Heat isn't working the way I want it to. These heat pipes should be absolutely glowing, but they are not, and that is because when I linked up all the heat together, the heat is being dispersed too much. So I need to isolate and multiply the heat, in my opinion. We'll check the heat levels when we jump in, but I strongly suspect if I don't, we're going to run out of power, and then we're going to have to do the whole hand feeding for fuel again, and I won't be happy about that. On top of that, we're going to need to start building up everything we need for the science, right? Because we got the ice platforms, and that's a good start, and I can import many of the other goods that I need. But we need to start making lithium plates, and that will allow us to make cryogenic plants, and that will be needed for making, more lithium for more lithium plates to make more cryoscience thingers, cryolabs, to enable us to make, and he's just scraping the bottom of the barrel of his Factorio knowledge to do this, fluorocetone into cold fluorocetone into the science with an opportunity to offshoot into quantum circuity things into railguns. So yeah, we can keep that in short-term memory banks, right? Alright, let's get it done. Let's jump back in. Terrifying though it may be. And just to check, the achievement's still going. Excellent. Alright, so first things first, let's cut this off. These things will still function, because as long as they're next to a 30-degree heat pipe, they'll be good to go. But yeah, look at that. The temperature is just way too low. This needs to be 500 or above. So with any hope, these things will still keep going. In fact, I'm thinking about just turbocharging them with a bit of heat, because this stuff needs to work for me. On top of that, I think it would be nice if I stockpiled a little bit of extra water. Could I perhaps move that over there? Maybe even stockpile some steam might not be the world's worst idea. Research is going. Actually, research is completed. Oh man, why? Oh, I do stockpile steam. Huh, I didn't even know that. Good job, Past Jake. Right, research. We're in this wonderfully privileged position of being able to research things that are nice to have, because the science is flowing, and there's no reason the science would ever slow down, because we sorted some of our resource issues in Novice. So what would I like? Asteroid productivity would certainly be nice for the end game ship, but I can't help but feel that's unnecessary. How about bullets? If my bullets do more damage, and we just finished explosive damage, then it's going to ease off the pressure on my gun turrets as we make our way to System Edge. Although that competes with better mining productivity, and this stuff is amazing. But my purple science output is not amazing. Let's go for bullets. And let's follow it with even more bullets, because this stuff is multiplicative. So the bullets will do 120% extra damage, the gun turrets will do 100% extra damage, and those will compound. We could also switch to piercing rounds, but I'm not interested in making fundamental design changes at this moment. And thanks for the good luck, Michael Hepp. Thanks indeed. Alright, so stockpile some water just in case for some reason we stop doing icy things and we need that water. The steam is being stockpiled. Actually, the steam is being used because we can't heat up enough for more steam. We need this number to go up. Number go up is, as they might say, good. Let me turn off my robots as I consider how to multiply this, which means I'm going to need more. Yeah, more. Let me just shove it up a bit. Up to something like here. And then I want to bring these goodies up a touch. I could do something like, but not necessarily that. And then the heat can come up and join into the greater heat system. But that means I need the oil. Hang on, do I actually have this on me? Okay, good. I don't trust letting the bots build any of this. I want to plan it. Plan it. We bring the oil over here. No, this thing is in the way. Could it not be in the way? Does that still work with everything? No complaints about the energy, except I cut off the energy by doing that. I think if I do something like that, you're fine. Yeah, there we go. Still all linked together. I need to put some logic on that ice handling as well. I don't like how slow I'm going, but I'm still going slow. And then I guess the heat could actually come out here, allowing this to go up. That is safe. This could be safe. And then the heat can come out like so. Alright, I don't see the issue here. Build it. I see the issue here. That's a lot of... That just ate up a lot of my heat again. I'm gonna run out of power. Where's that? Where's that stuff? Come on, heat, heat. Heat it all, damn it. There we go. Now this thing is bringing in the heat as well, one can hope. Why is this thing stopped now? Why is it stopped? Power died. Yeah, is that right? Low power, not no power. Okay, then yeah, I added this thing too quickly, and I killed my power. Alright, get that stuff back up. This temperature needs to rise, not lower. Oh dear, yeah, connecting this was a mistake and it just instantly sapped all the heat. Well, I can just assume that this stuff will heat up nicely with all the fuel that I gave it, whilst I plan adding more oil. There is no such thing as heat loss in Factorio, as I'm often keen to point out. However, there is heat consumption. Where's this stuff going to go in? I suppose it could go in like so, and then this stuff comes out. And then... that means this won't be here. That means this stuff could come along like so. And then this could come along and heat everything. Does that look like everything is heated to you? Looks like everything is heated to me, and everything will connect up, and then this will be here instead. Alright, that's fine. That temperature is kind of barely going up. I really need it back. Whilst we're waiting on that, we can set up some circuit logic here. I don't want this thing working when I am not backed up on ice, baby. So what I'll do is I'll say... See you here. read your contents, and if you ever have like 30 ice or so, enable this thing. So when this thing reads more than 30 ice, you can be activated. Maybe 30 is a bit much, maybe more than 10. And then let's just speed you up massively, because I don't want to clog on ice. Egads, I still hate that noise. Who would have thought? Oh, we're almost back there. Oh, we're so back. Okay, thank goodness. Power is restored. Now, maybe I let this stuff bank up heat a lot before I reconnect it to the greater network. This stuff needs to be made. What do you mean I don't have more pipes? Here's more pipes. I'll just make lots and lots of pipes. I brought plenty of iron for this very reason. There we go. That should be considerably more for you. And you're going to need powered. Almost unthinkable. Alright, ain't too shabby. The ice continues. The ice banking continues. Alright, can't see any problems here. How's my spaceship doing, by the way? There's Wind Lobby, just floating around, wishing that it had railguns. Don't we all? Alright, and hopefully with all of this, in fact, I can probably take away the, yeah, I can take away the rocket fuel. I may need that later on, and I don't want to use it when I could be filling these things up with solid fuel, which is what they're meant to be doing. Alright, this looks like it works to a degree. As soon as these things are reaching 1,000 degrees... Jesus, man, it's struggling so hard on heat. It's a bad sign. Really bad sign. These things are heating up, though, quite a bit. I guess it's just taking time for the heat to move around. And then once these things have banked up plenty of heat and steam, then I'll connect everything together, safe in the knowledge that I have a buffer. Alright, during which the science is going fine. I want to check on the spaceships, though. Lose Lobby. You get loads of ammo when you're on Novice. You get agricultural science. 4,000? That's quite a lot of science. Well, no, you'll take up to 4,000, but you're looking for 2,000, and you bring it back to Novice. And Novice, when it comes to the science, is... It's got quite a lot of it. Okay, loads of that, although it's spoiling. Well, of course, it will be spoiling, because I'm not doing special science with it. That's fine, though. If it spoils, it turns into... not nutrients, but the old crap, and that's fine. Master from ActRaiser 2 is doing the rounds. No problems there. Wasn't Master from ActRaiser 2 meant to drop these off in Gleba? Yeah. Yeah, did I ever make these things? I did, okay, that's excellent. I kind of want Wind Lobby to go and get those. But I won't send Wind Lobby off to do things until I know what I need done. These, of course, have been placed in just the wrong place. They're in the way of everything. With that in mind, why don't I make a bunch of general storage chests and just shove them down here that's out of the way. Certainly seems a lot more out of the way. At the same time, I kind of want it in the loggy net area, but whatever. This is fine. It will moan that it's not in the right area for things, but oh god, right, no. Better use for this place. I need to make the plates. Yes, okay, the plates. So, let's set down some electric furnaces. That'll do. Bots. Thank you, bots. Do my work for me. Let's do this efficiently, because evidently I have problems managing my power. My power level is just too high. And there we go. We got our first bits of lithium plates. And that has taught me how to make a cryogenic plant somehow. A lot of trust in Jake, says Greyvoid. Yeah, the votes have closed. How did the voting end up going? Inquiring minds want to know. Here we go. So the cryogenic plant requires processing units, superconductors, lithium plates, and refined concrete. And we can do that. We can absolutely do that. Superconductors, lithium plates, and the refined concrete. Superconductors. Lithium plates, some refined concrete. This is the only use for the refined concrete, so I might as well take it with that in mind. Cannot be done by hand. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, maybe I did know and I just forgot it. There's lots of stuff that I should know, right? I've played a fair bit of this. Go, bots, go. I need my cryogenic plants. Plenty of them. Jake, you've got this, but it'd be nice if you could earn me back what you lost on me last week. Make this one a 24 out of 25 as well. If it's going to be that tight, I certainly don't want to be losing it. Now, cryogenic plants can make cryogenic plants, but they don't benefit from productivity, so there's not a lot to be gained there. Let's just get a few of these and see what can be done. No, I got plenty enough of this going. I'm going to end up with at least 5 of them, so I need to start planning how we're going to be using these. Glad the energy in my my pack is holding. Okay, but I will still use this place as general storage for stuff. For example, all of you. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, I can't see what's inside them because there's damn thing in the way. Alright, you win, game. I will re-enable the blinking, even though I don't like the blinking. Because at least then I can see what's inside the chests. Yeah, there we go. I want more of that banked up. I will need my bot-related things, but later. Otherwise, I am a man with entirely too much ice. What can be done about that? I mean, I could recycle it, or I could just have a chest full of ice. Not too fussed one way or the other. Otherwise, what needs to move? Lots of general items over here. I need this space cleared up because I plan on expanding my base upwards. And how about general materials? I want to keep some on me because heavens knows what I still need to be building. That might not be enough heat pipes. It's really, really not a lot of heat pipes. What else do I have in here? Rather a lot of general goods and a lot of concrete, right? Concrete is important. Important enough to keep next to my heat pipes, which are very important. And then, hey, that's enough, right. Cleared up the space, need to think about how to use it. Also, how many of these do I have? Not a lot. We need a lot of ice platforms. Right, with that in mind, I'm going to speed up ice platform production. But I don't want to eat up all of my energy, so sorry, but my addiction to little green gems is not going to stop. So we increase the speed by 30%, but we don't notably increase the power consumption. How's the heat looking? Oh, you can practically eat the heat, and I have a lot of steam buffered. All right, let's reconnect everything. And pray that this is enough heat, not just for now, but for later. With any luck, this is all the heat that I need for the entire factory. If it's not, we're going to have to expand this again, and it's going to be very, very awkward. So let's try and build in this direction. Unfortunately, the planet that we got is awful. There's very, very little building ground, so we need a lot of ice platforms to meaningfully expand. That's right, I've got cargo landing pad for some reason. Who told me to get one of these? Can it work while cold? Bots, tell me. It does work when cold. Man, there's not a lot of logic here. I don't want it right now, though. Okay, don't slow down, but at the same time, don't make hasty mistakes. It's a difficult thing to work together here. Right, how about we start here with lithium production? Yes, because lithium is important. Lithium needs a few things. It needs brine, and it needs... Is that brine? Yeah, it needs brine, it needs holmium. What I will do, 1, 2, 3, is something like, but not necessarily that. Funny that it's a cryo plant, but it's too cold. I will put a requester chest between the two of them. I will then realize that I don't have any requester chests. Let's change that. And this will be how it gets holmium. It will get its... There we go. Whatever this stuff is called from here. Oh, I don't like that. How about... Oh, I don't like that either. Oops. Significant oops. Because I just broke the connection here. I should have used... cut or something. Damn, every time you delete a heat pipe, you waste a lot of energy. And I'm deleting a lot of heat pipes, you might notice. Right, how about something like this? That way in comes the stuff. Yeah. Scientific term there. Stuff. Okay, good. The overall heat is above 500 degrees, mostly. So these things should still produce power. Should I buffer more steam? I don't think so. What I might do is expand the power network if power starts hurting. And these things are power hungry. 1.55 megawatts each. I want you to demand quite a bit of my holmium. Just take 50 or so. Spread it out. And now we need brine over here. But what is this stuff going to do when it has the brine? Is perhaps another thing to consider. I want some of it going directly into these. Why is this cut off? Do not be cut off. I'm still a man who needs this stuff. Where's that brine? That's brine. Oh god, so the brine needs to come from down here up to here. In how much quantity? These things consume 5 per second of brine. Oh yeah, they need a ton of brine. Okay, so there's going to be a big brine mining expedition here. And there actually isn't that much brine. Maybe I should have been harvesting this stuff and saving it. But you know what I wasn't doing? That. So this is how this will look. Kind of. Hey, can this stuff go through the ammonia in the ground? Like, say, that? I wonder. You don't want to use too many undergrounds. They sap a lot of heat compared to not using undergrounds, but at the same time, you kind of need the flexibility. At this point, I kind of want heat things on my quick bar here. Alright, that'll keep you guys rolling. I'm keen to plan this before I build it so that my bots don't waste time and energy. And that's a very real concern. Am I gonna work? Yeah, let's go for it. As we've seen before, they sap a lot of energy on this planet. 500 times the regular amount. I want you guys working fast, but I don't want you working cheaply, so... Fast and cheap. I've been told this is possible. Alright, so this stuff's gonna come up and up and up and up and up a fair way. Hopefully I can clear all of this in one go. Can I? Not quite, but also not no. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Alright. You might think do undergrounds here. It's a question of do I want to spare the heat pipes or do I want to spare the ice platforms? Because if I use undergrounds, then I spare quite a lot of ice platforms. Let's take the long-term approach and just use a lot of this. My bots are not going to be happy with that. That's okay, I'm not happy with my bots either. So regular pipes use 1/150th of the heat to keep them going as a pipe to ground does. Although, annoyingly, I will actually need to pop this out here, won't I? So let's... Otherwise, this heat pipe won't be able to actually come around. So how about... Thank you. Thank you. Show me the proverbial money. And with this coming down, this heat's got to come down too. This is why I buffer steam. Come on, you slow bastards. There we go. That'll heat these things up. And then, of course, we need the power down here. I'm just using substations. Hell, I paid for them. I might as well get my money's worth out of them. And the nice thing is they don't need to be heated. Of course, it's a bit irrelevant here because they're next to heat pipes anyway. Sweet, that's all for one and one for all right there. I can always beacon these things if my production is not up to scratch. Oh, it is just one unit too far away for everything to connect. That is almost insulting. Maybe I could cheaply make some medium poles. I feel bad about that. I don't want to waste... Well, maybe I should be wasting it. Anyway, how are things looking over here? I've got all the lithium plates, so these things don't really need to be doing their magic anymore. And part of the idea was that these things go straight into here, one way or another. I guess that is fine, as long as the brine makes its way up one way or another. Yeah, we'll figure that out in just a moment. Alright, this stuff needs to start flowing, and I probably should buffer it some way, somehow. Alright, there we go. It gets moving. And yeah, you know, buffering this doesn't seem like the world's worst idea. So let's do that. How's the heat? Managing. Excellent. Oh god, this thing was never connected. Thank you, bots. Don't know how long it would be until I noticed that. I see the triggers being pulled for people providing hints. Say it ain't so. How's this gonna work? Poorly, probably. Remember, all this stuff needs heated. That'll heat all of that, I think. No reason to think that it wouldn't. Of course, how does the heat even get over there? How does the heat get to you? Oh, it'll actually work on that corner. Good. Alright. Then it began, one can hope. Except it also needs those holmium plates, which notably... Well, I sure hope I brought enough. This is ready so I can automate it in the future. For now, it just gets it like so. You don't seem to want to work for some reason. Oh, they're already full. They don't appear to have the lithium brine. Why? Why is there no brine? There's a lot of why going on here, huh? There we go. Good thing I was buffering it. It's still not coming in. Oh, right. This isn't quite there. Even so... Ah, I begin to see the problem now. There we go. Now we're all connected. Excellent. So we begin making lithium. We'll make lithium plates, which I hope only need one bit of this stuff, because these things run slow. They run annoyingly slow. To the point where I am going to beacon them, but beacons also freeze. Is there a way that I could possibly sneak this up here with heat pipes? Yes. Yes, there are. It won't be pretty, but what I could do is this, 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 and then all that for a fairly measly boost. I want them running faster. And more efficiently. There we go. That's a reasonable boost in the output. Except you're not even getting power, are you? Power. Limited power. I really should have gridded my, my substations so that things, you know, work better. What's your problem? Why are these things running slow? Why are they running out of ammonia? Oh dear. Right, well, beacon time? Don't like the idea of not getting enough ammonia in my diet. Well, that's good enough for you guys, but it's not good enough for these other guys. Keep things going. You know, in an ideal world, I would have brought over quality machines. Oh, that's a bad sign. And that's a bad sound, but we gotta live with it. Rather than facing power down, I'd rather more that I had power. Yeah, let's just prepare for the future. Kind of like the way heat pipes look when they're down there and operational, but looks aren't everything. Alright, there we go. That's considerably more power, so we'll be able to handle quite a bit more going forward. Still don't like all those flashing lights telling me that my log net isn't up. My Roboport net won't be up until this stuff needs to be automated. For now, I'm here to make sure it's running fine. Hey, Jake and chat, how goes the factory? I've got a lot of pressure going on, and now I have under 6 hours. Right, let me consider how this stuff goes. I need numbers. I need to contemplate if I need belts or if these things can feed into each other. And at what rates. With using modules, all bets are out the window, aren't they? You know, I never actually started researching the science, did I? No, you don't need to research the science. You need to research the stuff that comes after the science. We're pretty much done on the bullets, so I think I'll let the bullets continue and finish. And then I need quantum processors. Oh, that's right, we don't even have the science, so there's no point queuing this research. We can do everything else. Even so, this stuff comes first. Ice, lithium plates, and fluorocetone. So I need the fluorocetone. Fluorocetone requires... It's hot fluorocetone. Solid fuel, lithium, fluorine, and ammonia. So the ammonia and the fluorine shouldn't be a problem. Lithium I can just bring in. The solid fuel I can also just belt in from one of these things. And this actually reduces a fair amount of it. 10 seconds to make 50, that's 5 per second. What's the consumption rate of this stuff? This actually has output of its own stuff, so maybe just one of these will be fine. But I do need a cooling plant for it. Anyway, your job is to make me hot fluorocetone, and then we are going to cool that fluorocetone. Could I just do that? Is that going to work? Heat can come up, but then it doesn't really spill out much. Maybe I will give myself a bit more freedom in how I move this stuff around by doing something like this. You can tell I haven't really built this kind of setup before. Well, maybe you can tell. Maybe I could actually have this in the center if I really don't think I need that much of this stuff made. What was its consumption rate of these? Oh yeah, it's gonna get clogged with these. I could rather easily have 2 of them if I wanted to overbuild. Let's have one and have it so that I can expand this out this way if I need more. We have the space for it. I feel bad building on just places that I need ice platforms, because ice platforms come at a premium, but c'est la vie. Right, now comes a problem. I have to get this all the way down and over here. There's not even that much of it. That's a long way to drag a heat pipe, but I think the heat pipe will suffice. I don't like bringing the power all the way over there. Ah. How big are you? 420 yield. Where are you? That's not insurmountably far away compared to that other stuff, so we'll just see if this thing can do. Alright, that means I want this thing activated on the double, and I might even speed module it just to get as much out of you as you can. I might even beacon module you. And then let's see what we can make do with you. Just bring it down, and it needs to come over here, right? The heat needs to be brought over regardless, so it's not a big deal how we do this. And I know the heat needs to come up and around here as well. So I could do yonder. Power needs to come along as well. And let's just prepare ourselves. Come on, guys, come on. Make it fast, make it efficient. Unlike my bots here, who take forever to do anything. And they drain all my battery while doing so. Not very nice of them, is it? Sorry, I scoop them up. If you scoop up a bot with your bare hands, you give it a quick rub, and that rub fills it with energy somehow. I guess it's a way to stop you being locked. Alright, go, 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 go. And what am I out of? Sadly, I'm out of ice platforms, but we automated that an aeon ago. It's a bad sign that I'm out of them now, though, because we're going to be out of them later if we're out of them now. There we go. That's going to drain a lot of the heat, but it will bring over the brine. Brine? Fluorine. Yeah, it'll bring over the fluorine. Should I buffer fluorine? Can I buffer fluorine? And I guess I could. I am willing to buffer the fluorine. All the way over there, which might seem like a colossal waste of time and resources, but if we can, we should. Speed it up. Don't drain all of my energy. The heat will gradually make its way through with questionable throughput. How's the heat? Looking cool, Joker. Excellent. I just found heat pipes everywhere was annoying, says Lizard, probably in a way of saying that he does not particularly like this planet. There we go. Get these in the log net so we have them available. Excellent, excellent. Less excellent is my total lack of holmium plating. Alright, bullet good. Alright, just take all the holmium. There is nothing else to use holmium for other than making these plates. Is that true? Or am I talking out of my behind? These things are made from lithium plating. Getting a lot of that lithium plating, huh? It looks like we're going to need another shipment of holmium sent over here at some point, but hopefully we can get the science done first and foremost. Right, you there. You need to cool this hot fluorocetone. And I need this stuff done efficiently because you guys are very, very power hungry. You're also a bit too cold for my liking. There needs to be some kind of logic here. I have an idea. Rather than using any pump logic, I'm going to use, assuming this works. Yes, I'm going to use logic for you to set you to enable and disable. Oh, but I never actually gave you the goodies that you need to operate. It doesn't sound like you need a lot of this stuff, so here's my proposition. I'm going to outsert you into here. And that's going to be the wrong way. There, like that. Isn't it grand? Fortunately, this stuff connects on the corners as well, the heat pipes, that is. And then in and out, no mucking about. Excellent. Nice and warm, eh? I need to keep remembering to shift click, otherwise it doesn't put down the concrete underneath. There we go. You need very, very little of this stuff, so hopefully this will give you enough. And also, I don't think this thing's going to need to work very often. Also, it would help if it actually got the goods that it needs. Alright, and then the fluorine. Got too much fluorine in your gene pool. Oh, right, yeah, it helps if I power the fluorine as well. There we go. Fluorine is a go-go, and we'll very slowly get some initial fluorocetone to cool, to turn into... Now, definitely want the bots off while I can figure how to make the actual science. Science is made from hot, cold, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, okay. I'm going to need a lot of these things, actually. Oh, baby, it's going to need to expand out both ways, I reckon. However, the fundamentals are clear. the hot fluorocetone needs to come back here. The heat, how the heat moves around is its own problem. Let's see, it's going to output hot fluorocetone, which comes back in here, but I need to make sure this thing is never full of fluorocetone. Let's see, you take 10 and make it into that, and you max out at 20. So I want you to read your contents, and this thing is only active when the amount of hot fluorocetone is... How much does it come out at? It goes 10 into 10, huh? If it is less than or equal to 10 hot fluorocetone, do not activate. That way it prioritizes taking the fluorocetone from here. Right, you also need lithium plating, and I am not going to faff around on that one. You get yours just sent over from one of these. I would like to leave space for a beacon right about here. Alright, and this thing is going to be requesting not the ice, maybe the ice. Yeah, what skin off my nose is it if the bots just bring all this stuff over? Sure, it's expensive on energy, but this stuff doesn't need a lot of it. You know what? To hell with it. Bring over the ice. Bring over 50 ice. Maybe 50 is overkill. Bring over like 20 ice and, I don't know, 10 of these. And then send it over to these. Doesn't mean I need to actually set up a bot network, but everybody's got their lot in life. That does very notably prevent the heat coming through again. The heat needs to reach the other side one way or another. But the heat can come up through the second one of these, which is going to be like so. Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, it works. It might work. The jury's out on how well it will work, but it might work. Alright, there we go. They're also going to want power, don't we all? I guess power can just go there. It's no biggie. Alright, huzzah, you've got power. This will probably be moved later, but for now, go there. You've all got power. Okay, good, good. Where does the science go? That's a problem for... Hold on, there's a nice little space right here. Passive provider. You. And then out you come. And then we log net it all up. Fun fact, it's too late now, but it's very easy to make quality cryoscience. Only the holmium plates are used, and the liquids don't carry quality. Ah, hadn't considered quality science. Although that's not relevant here, we would never be going for that anyway. Wow, I cannot believe how quickly we burned through the holmium. Wait, can I? No, the problem is that doesn't want to come out here. Why not? Target full. If you say so. Target off, I think, is more the problem. These things could be making me holmium plates a whole lot faster, but I think this rate is fine. We don't need that many, all things considered. But I do need to get this stuff started. On the double. That isn't really where I imagined you going. But I think in the end you are going to need to come out like so, and then we kind of branch this around and have our second plant over here. That's fine, I just want to get things started, I suppose, and that means starting up the power-expensive Loginet. I also want to make sure these things are beaconed. We'll just start out by making them not drain all of my power, because I don't like having all my power drained constantly. And then we're going to grab those roboports. Now, I would really, really rather have quality roboports on this godforsaken planet. Oh, right, ice. Ice, ice, ice. You know what? I don't have to bring the ice over by botnet. In fact, one might reasonably argue that the less the ice has to travel, the better it is for my everything. And I'm willing to buy those arguments. Not to there, but to there. It might seem extremely cheeky. Don't need a ton of ice here. Might seem extremely cheeky just having this short distance, but the less my bots have to fly, the less aggravating it's going to be for the botnet. For the power for the botnet. Because these bots, they get tuckered out real fast. Let's keep them heated, powered, and close to where they need to be. Alright, alright, alright. And then you are going to need your Constructobots, which I'm sure I left somewhere. Not Constructobots, but Logibots. Well, it looks like you're getting both. All the Logibots and all but 50 of the Constructobots. And they're going to move the goods over to here. They're also going to bring out... Yeah, they're going to get tuckered out, but that's okay. That's all part of the plan. Going to give them plenty of places to recharge. That will impact on my power, but hopefully the power can hold indefinitely with this kind of setup. Maybe the oil would give out at some point. What qualifies as a win on this one-shot? Got to get to the end of the solar system before this timer runs out. And that timer is breathing down my throat. Right. Maybe I should have this thing at the ready already. It's gonna go here, huh? Doesn't really matter any thoughts of reversing it, but I do like the idea of this being somewhat symmetrical. That breaks my power, but I was ready for that, you see? Heated, treated, and I'm all out of these things. No, I'm not. You've got them for me. Excellent. How many more of these things I need, I'm not entirely sure, but there we go. And I need the hot fluorocetone flowing through you. And now that hot fluorocetone is the preference for coming into here. Yeah, because this thing only brings in the hot fluorocetone if this thing runs out, which it will now. And then you will activate, and then boom, we get an influx of fluorocetone to keep it all going. It cools it, itself feeds it back into the cryogenic science, and cryogenic science has begun at a rate that is entirely not satisfactory. But that is why we invested in beacons. I wanted higher quality beacons here, but I don't have higher quality beacons, so let's just go mad on the speed and accept the fact that these things are... Oh, right, these things can take a bajillion modules, don't they? Yeah, you know what? I can even add efficiency modules into them then. All right, great. Yeah, that's expensive on power, but I want that output. It's going to give me an additional 12% of them. Yeah, that's okay. There's the idea that I actually want those two together on the left side rather than this side, so let's get rid of all of this. I thought it would be nice to have them coming out symmetrically, but what's a lot better is just taking what I have right here and just redoing it right here. Hopefully the power won't mind. I love bots. Bots don't love my lack of concrete. Please tell me that's just because I didn't pick up all of my concrete. The Windcrete is here. Come on, you slow buggers. There we go. Yeah, why not just have this thing continued around? Slight, teeny, tiny concern. You know, I could just have this all come along like so. No, I cannot, because I would need some underground piping. Does that all connect? You better believe it does. All right. So, the fluorocetone is going. The science is flowing. Now, once I have a certain amount of science, we need to send it back home. Before any of that, though, I might be able to get another cheeky little bit of research done. Afternoon, Jake. Godspeed today for the edge. Oh, I hope we're edging real soon. But we've got some things to sort out first. I'm a little tempted by asteroid productivity, so let's see if we can squeeze that out before we get our hands on whatever the heck we're doing here. So yeah, the bots are working, but they don't have to do too much work. The power is actually holding surprisingly well. If I were really cheeky, I could actually slam in even more of this. Yeah, even more productivity. To hell with the other stuff. I am concerned that you are output full on hot fluorocetone. Does that mean this stuff doesn't process it fast enough? Or is it just because you had your initial splurge of fluorocetone? Output full. And it does all connect, right? Oh, I see the problem. You very specifically had this problem. And so do you now. Okay. That's my problem with making things symmetrical, but not considering why they're symmetrical. Right, yeah, so it wasn't a throughput problem. It was a you're not connecting your pipes problem. Also known as a me problem. Okay, you know what this means? Maybe. Does anyone know what it means? What's in the lognet? 100 or so of this science. I need about 1,000 of it to send back home. Actually, I could make do with sending back 500. That would be enough to get me my quantum processors researched. And then we can come back and get the rest for railgun, fusion, and promethium science. Jesus Christ. Efficiency on cryolabs. My poor eyes, says Alpha Gemo. Well, I can't wait to see what you do for my poor eyes when you do your own run of this. Which I am incredibly excited about. Oh, you have no idea. Well, maybe you do. I could module these things yet further. They are of vital importance. You do get diminishing returns on moduling these things up, but you know what? That still means returns. God, these things are power hungry. But the power should hold like this. My only concern is that the heat doesn't hold. The heat is slowly trending up, so I think we're all right in that regard. Okay, now we need to find a way to get this stuff off planet. Or we can start planning how we do our next thingamajiggers. Please tell me I don't need this fluorocetone for other recipes. I really don't want to have to bootstrap anything onto you. This stuff requires fluorocetone. That is maybe okay, because there's a lot of opportunity to speed this thing up. Yeah, I think we'll find here. This stuff cannot be made... I'll tell you what, we can make it a bit faster. Keep it nice and efficient. Is that too efficient? Yes. Is that too efficient? No. And that means this fluorocetone can come over here for processing stuff. But I need to get this stuff off-world. Don't get too distracted. I need a rocket silo. Steel processing units, electric stuff, my pipes. Garfield. Get me my pipes. Get me my steel. Matthew Steel. Shouldn't need iron or copper much going forward now. I'm sure I brought over electric engines. There's no way I would have forgotten my electric engines. Not in a million years would I forget my electric engines. Win lobby. Where are my electric engines? Actually, you've got a lot of stuff that I was meant to be having down here. I need my electric engines. You are over me, right? Oh, I never set it down, did I? Oh no, the reason I didn't set it down was because I hadn't put down my cargo landing pad. Which, all things considered, should go somewhere near all the rest of this stuff. Alright, there you go. Okay, nice of it not to crush anything. There we go. Right, wind lobby, I believe I need some things. I want those low density structures. I want those processing units. I might not need more rocket fuel. But you know what? I'm taking more rocket fuel. You've got a lot of steel for me. Give me the steel as well for building things. I'm going to need tungsten carbide, tungsten plates, and carbon fiber for getting this other stuff going as well. Also, I feel like you could be banking a lot more ammo and stuff. So how about we actually bank 10,000 rockets? And how about 10,000 magazines? Yeah, there we go. This stuff is all continuing to produce, right? Kind of. It'll produce a little better when this stuff buffers a little bit more. There we go, I'm happy enough with that. Just keep it flowing. I'm going to need a lot of that for system edge. Jake, I must efficiency module these up. Also, Jake, beacons for all! Well, the lovely thing is that beacons do more now. Not enough logistic storage space available. What? I can only assume you're crying out for one of these boxes somewhere. There you go. Oh, that's right. I told you to pick up some garbage. Well, there you go. There's your garbage storage. My poor bots. Right, anyway, about those goodies that I needed. The rocket silo, I need those processing units, which you have kindly bestowed upon me. And let's have our rocket silo. Rocket silo is going to go next to where everything is for the goodies, which is right here. So yeah, hopefully the rocket silo fits right here. Space for 1, 2, 3. That means I can get heating and other stuff, surely. Do we actually get anything from this miserable planet, or is it a massive resource sink? We get cryogenic science, cryogenic labs, but yeah, mostly Aquilo only gives you stuff that you need to get to the system edge and Shattered Planet, and those places are a waste of time, except just for beating the game. Let's actually do a quick review on neat stuff that you get from Aquilo. So landing in Aquilo, you get some recipes that are only good in Aquilo. Then you get lithium plate, which is pretty much only good in Aquilo. Yeah. The cryo plant, it sounds like this place's answer to the biolab, the electro plant, and the foundry, which are all good. Biolab may be a bit debatable. But this thing doesn't have any inherent productivity. It does, on the other hand, have 8 module slots, which is insane. If you put legendary productivity modules in, that's like getting an extra 100% productivity, which I suppose is better. The problem is the cryolab doesn't really produce much of value. Oh boy, fusion reactors. You don't need many of those. And biter eggs, again, lots of just things you need one off of. What about recipes that matter? Okay, we get things like explosives, batteries, sulfur. Plastic's kind of good. Although you could make bioplastic if you really want with the biolabs. And then, of course, you get the railguns. Overall, I'm not very impressed. I don't like it, and it doesn't feel like a nice, fulfilling reward for making it all the way over here. And you need a lot of logistic setup to move things to and from Aquilo. You do, however, get Foundation. Foundation is the only way to build on lava and deep oil in Vulcanus and Fulgora. But I don't really feel that that's such a problem that it needs solved anytime soon. It's also monstrously expensive. One piece of Foundation costing you stuff from every planet. Tungsten plates from Vulcanus, carbon fiber from Gleba, lithium plating and fluorocetone from Aquilo here, and nothing, I suppose, from Fulgora, unless you want to get the stones from there, because you certainly don't get stones here on Aquilo. There must be other great stuff you get here. Fusion power is the biggest, best power in the game, but I think it's completely unnecessary. Nuclear already solves all of your problems. Fusion is just when you want to scale up so much and you want to, I don't know, save space. But space is infinite. It's good on extremely hungry spaceships, but I think nuclear can still do that fine. Anyway, it doesn't make you feel like, oh yes, now I've got the electro plant, I'm going to make so many modules, or yes, I have the foundry, my ore problems are gone. It's just, Jake doesn't like Aquilo. That's the takeaway here. Am I out of Windcrete? I think I am out of Windcrete. Where's my concrete? Where's my elephant? Oh, we were one tiny bit of concrete shy there. Okay, when it comes to the science, we're actually pumping it out, which I am rather chuffed to bits about. So, we will... we'll realize that I maybe timed this a bit poorly, but... There we go, you get your hands on all the ingredients that one needs. I'm gonna fill you in like so. You're going to be running a bit more efficiently. And I'm going to realize that I still have beacons. That's good. No, that's fine. Just go fast. Gotta go fast and all that. I mean, the beacon could have been up here too. No, it wouldn't affect those anyway. Alright, go and build me some rockets, please. It's time to start blasting off with this stuff. Hopefully I don't run out of any of my goods. Portable railgun one-shots the large worm. I've never even tried, actually. I just set down loads and loads of gun turrets. Right, I need a tungsten carbide down here. It's the only reason you really have it. I want that tungsten plating. Am I going to want more space for the goods down here? I suppose it couldn't hurt. And I have the gubbins to make some more cargo bays. Let's just be ready. But sir, I'm short on ice platforms. Well, it's a good thing some Herculean exemplar went and got me tons and tons of ice platforms. So there we go, I've got space for dumping down more of these goods. I do need that carbon fiber down here. Might not be too bad an idea to bring down a bit more rocket fuel. Don't know how much of that stuff I'm going to need. Is there anything else here that I was meant to dump down on the planet? Nothing comes to mind. Although I'm anxious to just send it away. Low power. Low power is not what I want to be hearing. I'm out of steam. And not because I'm out of heat. I just don't produce enough heat to manage all these engines. Okay, well. The dream of productivity moduled cryogenic science is pretty dead then. I gotta save the power. For now. Don't worry, we'll sort it all out in due time. Yeah, these things don't get enough steam. I actually need more of these. As luck would have it, it's not really a big deal to just shove them over here, because you better believe these are doing nothing for me. Although, where does the steam go in? Pass. I'm out of heat sinks. I'll hopefully I have more of those. Alright, not a lot more, but I have some more. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me that I was going to need more of these. What do these pump out anyway? I put 103. I think I just need 2 more of these and we're good. But not here. Maybe here. Oh, but this already has this pipework coming out, so... something like so might be okay. I hope I'm not about to find it's actually water I'm lacking. No, we got tons of water. Alright, no problem then. Wait, these things don't need heated? Cool. I suppose that kind of makes a sick amount of sense. There we go. Up to temperature in no time. And then you have steam, which I need outputted down here. New power was going to still be a problem. There we go. Now we have additional power, additional steam coming out. Working, and you're gradually filling up with steam. Excellent. And that should solve some of my power problems. Maybe I can even bring back productivity. What a time to be alive. Hey, the rocket is here. Can the rocket fill up on science yet? I have 610. There's a question if I want to hold out until I have more than that. Thinking I might see if I can get away with this. It's an idea. I hate hearing that noise. But I've just got to live with it for the rest of the run. It's taken so long. I think we have bots in the... What is your problem? It's not telling me that they're lacking anything. They had ice platforms or something? No, the ice platforms are already in the Loginet. What's their problem? What are they waiting on? Concrete? Why did my bots not give them the concrete? Something funny going on here, I'm telling you. Ah, this stuff was never part of the Loginet. It might need to be. Oh yeah, the ice platforms were never part of the Loginet. Alright, there we go. There we go. Now I can do things more automatically. Standing in front and putting a round down its throat and one-shotting it, you can't beat that feeling. I will tell you, says Protozomac. You do need a bit in damage research, though, or quality ammo. How about in research not dying? What's happening on Novice? What is your problem? Piddle science is dying because low-density structures are dying. Master from Actraiser 2. I thought you were meant to bring over low-density structures for... Let's see, you're stopped at Novice. Bring them those low-density structures. Oh, the problem is Novice doesn't demand those. Alright, here's the deal. I want you to take additional low-density structures wherever possible. You don't need too many, just take 500 when you get the chance. There we go. My savior master from Actraiser 2. Alright, now the production of my science is going even better than before. Let's make it even better. Even more power hungry. That's alright. I love power hungry. Have a couple more of these. Maybe that was a bad thing to do because I need to set up my production of the quantum dibbly-doobs. But I suppose I can do that when the science is actually going. Right, Wind Lobby, do you have everything sent down to me that I needed? Or wanted? Fine. We're on a bit of a timer then waiting for the science to be made, but I only need about 2,000 of them. How is the production of science here going? Make it about 55 a minute. So in 10 minutes we have 500, 20 minutes we have 1,000. Need about 3,000 total, so that's a couple of hours to make all the science that we need. That's a really good sign. And actually the science is even better than that. It's more like 80 a minute. And we could make it even faster if we don't worry about power. I'm just hesitating to change anything in my setup here. You know how it is. I mean, that water level is going down. And that's bad. Do you take efficiency modules? But wow, you can efficiently melt ice. I had no idea. Get rid of more of the impurities or something? That's still going to connect everything? Good. Not good. Also good. Alright, there we go. Now you two can... Wait, what? Ah, oh, damn. Ever the Ronso. Oh god, the ice is clogging here. That's really bad for production. Fortunately, I was very, very clever and brought myself green. Green will speed things up. I did say when I was taking these it might be unnecessary. But if the ice backs up for any reason, including a throughput issue like that, then it's going to slow down the... what's this stuff called? Ammonia. And we need ammonia for everything else. Impurities make ice melt faster. Is that so? What about Ice 9? Alright, good. The water is going back up where it belongs. I may yet need more cryogenic plants. In fact, I almost certainly will. How are we doing on good concrete? I appear to not have any refined concrete. And I do need more of these. Currently having 0. Alright, so that's one thing we need to send Wind Lobby back for. I think we could send Wind Lobby back now. I have taken everything I need off of you. I need only send you up some science and we're good to go. I really want to send up 1,000 science, and would you look at that, we have 1,000 science. Excellent. Right, this thing can go back, get the goodies, start the cryogenic research, and all will be well. And look at that, my science production just shot right back up after the introduction of more low-density structures, which Master from ActRaiser 2 will bring over constantly. The bots are really, really efficient on this planet. Sorry, inefficient due to the cold. Alright, send that up to the wind lobby. Don't crash with that stuff. It's very, very important. Why are you not working? How and why are you fool? Oh, wait, what? How? Was that always the case? What the heck? Okay. Not a huge deal. I can just do this, but dang. How long are these things not working? I guess forever. Well, maybe that'll even further improve my science output. One can only imagine. Alright, good. And we have more of these rockets ready to go, and Wind Lobby is sitting pretty with all that science I just gave it. I'm going to babysit Wind Lobby because I don't trust it at all. But let's see. I need you to not pick up that stuff. I'll give you a separate shopping list. I need to consider what I need for the planet. In the Loginet, okay, so I'm going to need more low-density structures, maybe. But I need quality concrete. Hey, you can get that from Vulcanus. How much quality concrete do you have? Not much of it. Why do you have not much of it? I told you to make this stuff, I think. I had a horrible setup here for this stuff. Oh, I ran out of iron ore. And that stuff you don't really get. Okay, so maybe get your quality concrete from Fulgora. Fulgora has tons of stuff. Alright, great. Wind Lobby, it's time for us to go to Fulgora first. Is that true? I'd rather go to Gleba. I need some stuff from Gleba. And Gleba, Vulcanus, maybe Fulgora on the way back. But I need to drop the stuff on Novice. Alright, Gleba, then Novice. I need to get stuff started. Gleba, please. Alright. When you are in Gleba, I want you to take 100 stack inserters. Yeah, that should be fine. That's just one rocket launchy worth of stuff, and then you're good. Do not unload on Gleba. Gleba deserves nothing from you. We do ride slowly on this thing, but that's okay, because whilst that thing is I just saw something running out of ammo. Why? Teething problems. Let's put it down to that. It'll be fine. The large asteroids will be less frequent the further we get from Aquilo. I purposely throttle this ship so it goes quite slowly. Better to be slow and survive than fast and die. Those walls won't protect me from big asteroids like this. So, Jake, why are you going back for stack inserters? I can hear chat crying out. Because I'm delusional. Throughput. Yeah, people talk about how great the green belts are over in Vulcanus, or at least I imagine they do. But the real big win is stack insertion. Stacking onto a belt improves the throughput ×4. That turns a yellow belt into a green belt. And it turns a red belt into 2 green belts. So, yeah, Gleba kicks Vulcanus's arse. All those people having Gleba issues. Pure, unadulterated skill issues. They don't know the good stuff when it smacks them in the face. There's a lot of smacking going on. Unbelievable, we're just throwing away the ice. Some people said this might not work, but it seems to work just fine. Circuit-conditioned expulsion of rocks that we have too many of. If I have over 300 of any single kind of rock, out it goes. But it's on the same belt that the railgun stuff is on. It's specifically set not to do railguns. There's a constant -1000 to railgun count. Wait, is it 1000? Let's play it safe. Let's say it's actually like infinite negative railgun stuff. Because I'm going to be stacking stuff. I need to redo some numbers on that. And I need to remember to redo some numbers on that. Can you stack a full pallet of bricks with crushing meteorites? I thought so. Can you stack a full pallet of... you're probably talking about the underground stacking of Promethium Science rocks. We don't care about that, because Promethium Science is post-express delivery. Meaning we can go as glacial paced as we want and it'll be fine. Alright, the day of large asteroids is coming to an end as we get ever closer to Gleba. The science on asteroid productivity is done, so I actually get 10% additional resources out of every asteroid. It's a bit expensive to keep doing, and I don't really have time to research anything else. Ah, go on, the tool belt takes no time at all, go on. And then I'm going to find myself like 300 short on purple science before getting the win. Tragic. The better explosives was a great choice. It used to take 5 rockets to take out one of these big asteroids. Now it takes 3. Savings. What is the purpose of this? Why is it there? I'm sure there's a good reason for it. It was a joke about the house crushing. I was also thinking about that, but I couldn't understand how that joke had any punchline. So I assumed either you're German or you were talking about something else. Your call. Right. Come on, Gleba. You got the goods for me. I think Gleba is set to automatically give me what I want. Gleba, you are completely subservient. I love my little Gleba base, by the way. Oh, it's so cute. I think I was tossing and turning in bed, combing over in my head this design, thinking there's something wrong with it. It needs to be fixed. But I have since forgotten whatever I was thinking about. Nothing wrong with my beautiful little Gleba. Oh, God, yeah. Did I actually sort it? Yeah, there's not handling of spoilt bioflux. We were talking about this in Discord. It's like, find a problem. What could possibly lock up this design? And whilst it wouldn't lock it up, spoiling bioflux is a possibility. Oh, on they go. We get the toolbox. We send away 2 loads of stack insertion. And then win lobby. Once you have those arrived, I want you over to Novice. Please wait until I tell you to do anything other than that. You can tell them to move whilst things are en route. They will wait for them to arrive and then they'll take off. Any other incredibly quick sciences just to check off? Go on, nuclear fuel reprocessing. Look at it go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Looking forward to having these things, actually. You've got them, and we're on our way. Excellent. So, stack insertion is going to be used here. So now, I'm stacking these things up to a pile of 4. And that means I'm going to want to multiply the amount that I take this in by 4. So I'm actually caring when there's 3,200 of these on the belt, then you can stop working. Good, because one of the problems is the ammo only comes along one side, so if this stuff is heavily eating the ammo, this stuff is going to run out. So I want to increase the amount that can flow through here 4 times the amount. I would double it with green belts, but with this, we are quadrupling it. I could multiply it even more by adding green belts, but I don't really want to wait for that, and I cannot be ringed changing all these belts out for green, because how many of them are there? 726. That's 15 rocket launches of green belts. I'm not willing to wait for that. Alright, we're on our way to Glorious Novice. Novice is going to get the science. Novice, I don't think, is created to handle the science. We can't handle the truth. Alright, your filter is going to change to Cryogenic Science. And I'm going to say you're going to be way too slow at that, aren't you? Do I actually have quick things to increase you with? And I suppose if you're going to be fast, these should be fast as well. Okay. How are we doing on spoilage here, by the way? What do you mean there's no spoilage in my network? There's no way none of the science is spoilt here. Huh. And the mind boggles. Watching the ship slowly drift its way through the asteroids, it's very zen. Oh, they ain't zen for me because I've got this timer on screen. Omnipresent. Alright, we are indeed over novice. Dump the science. And I double-checked that because I have absolutely, in the past, just dumped things on the wrong planet before. And it feels incredibly bad. Right, so with that 1000 science... Well, I have to do quantum processing first, but after that, railguns. Because I need to start creating railgun ammo for the end game. And then after that, it's Promethium science, which does require fusion. So this is the end game science. Once we have these done, we can sail with zen, as you say, towards the edge. Okay, what did I tell myself I needed to bring back? I don't think there was anything from Novice. However, I couldn't help but notice that that's not a lot of uranium fuel cells remaining. Novice, can you spare any more? Novice, do you even have uranium fuel cells? You do, actually. Okay, that's kind of cool. Wind Lobby. I want you to request an additional... let's bring us up to 100 of these. There we go. That'll get them on the way. Just while I'm there, right? The main timer problem is the creation and distribution of this science. So I need to make sure nothing locks up here. Couldn't help but notice that the plates aren't being produced fast enough. So let's speed that up. We speed it up even more. I don't have room for beacons here. Some idiot didn't leave space for that. Let's see, production and consumption of the plates. Oh, production just spiked. But the production is not keeping up with the consumption yet. And I need even more of these, by the way. That's going to be a problem. A problem that I didn't leave myself space to expand upon because I put this bleeding thing in the way. 5-head move right there. I might destroy it to make more lithium plates for the other stuff. Yeah, poor choice. I also could have had the beacon down here so it affects all of them. Could I? I think I could have. Anyway, once the ship has done its things, then I can figure out how to make that better. We still have another 20 fuel cells on the way. That's good. And once they're here, we will make our way over to Vulcanus to get the rest of the goods. And then we can go via Fulgora on the way back. I mean, Fulgora is an extra distraction. Maybe just Vulcanus. Although that means I'm out of fancy concrete. I'll still get it from Vulcanus. It's faster on the rocket launches. Okay, quick checking on the temperature. Temperature's good. Temperature is actually maxing out. Max 300ing out. That's excellent news. And there have been more than 15,000 cycles of recycled ice, which is another good sign that the prevention of backup is working. See, the ice gets too high there, and then the recyclers work. It's a beautiful little thing. I've seen some incredibly small bootstrapping bases for Aquilo, but for me it was important to very quickly make a lot of ice platform. We made the most of the tiniest patch of starting land that we had, but, you know, to expand meaningfully, you need so much ice platform, and that stuff is so slow. It's a 30-second recipe for one of them. Grim. Real grim. Alright, Wind Lobby should have enough power to make it through the rest of the game. So when we get over here, what am I looking for? We need that refined concrete from you and Vulcanus. And I'm going to want all of what you have, which is 900. While I'm at it, I don't trust the lack of concrete over here, do I? Concrete in the system is 500, and I got another few hundred on me. So if Wind Lobby could do me a solid, please get me another 1,000 regular concrete. I forgot to get additional carbon fiber from Gleba. Whoops. Ah, but Gleba links to Fulgora, so Gleba, Fulgora, and back. Not bad. Alright, we already have tungsten cable and tungsten plates. And we should have everything we need for rocket launches, although I do still want some more low-density structures, just to be safe. Quantum processors, superconductors. How are we doing on superconductors? 600. I don't trust 600. I want more than that. Rocket fuel should be fine. Rocket fuel in the lognet's 1.1 thousand, and we only need it for rocket launches. So yeah, the thing is I want low density structures to keep up with everything else for rocket launches. So yeah, get me that. Get me 1000 LDS. If I find I have a shortage on something to launch rockets from Vulcanus, I'm going to go postal. But that probably won't be a problem, and I probably won't go postal. What else did I just say that I needed? I should need more steel. All that is sorted. Processing units were good on. Although if I need to make quantum processors... I don't need a lot of these though, do I? I just need them for railguns. And you don't need it for the science. So yeah, really all I need are enough quantum processors to make... Oh, but these things need 100 each. And I need 4 of those. That's 400 of those. So yeah, top up in superconductors. Maybe play it safe and grab another batch of these. I have a lot of rocket launching facilities on Vulcanus, so it's not a big deal. Alright, we're going to get that. And then I have to remember when I'm on Gleba, I wanted more of this. Be sporting and give me 2,000 of it, assuming you have 2,000 of it. And remind myself this is the Gleba setup. Alright, those goods are coming in. I want to double check that Gleba has the spare carbon fiber. Gleba has 2,000. Wow, 2,000 on the money carbon fiber. Amazing. Alright, just what I was after. It's probably overkill, but I want to be ready. Holmium. Don't forget the holmium. Alright, so blasting off like Team Rocket go all the bits of concrete. We have actually finished the research of cryogenics. It was that easy. Awesome. And now the railgun begins. Why is science so slow? Oh, well, don't consider that. As long as science is going, I suppose that's fine. Okay, win lobby. Don't forget that we're also going to need from Fulgora. Don't know why I'm using pictures to help me out here. Holmium. Stack size 1,000. Give me 4,000 holmium. Let's not leave anything to chance on that one. That's going to be 4 rocket launchers. There's only 2 rocket launchers, but that'll be fine. But hang on. I also need, or want rather, some more superconductors. Give me 2,000 of those. Double check that Fulgora can fulfill such a demand. I have 2,000 on the money. Wow, that's terrifying. Why is electromagnetic science dying? Prioritize that. Did scrap die or something? No, I think the problem is I'm just eating so much of the holmium for my buffer, and my holmium. I've got 23,000 holmium. I have enough holmium. Let's focus more on actually getting the science rebuilt. Yeah, that's a sadly small amount. I hope Novice has a lot of that stuff backed up. Novice has plenty of it backed up. Alright, so the science from Vulcanus and the science from Fulgora and pretty much the science from Gleba are all solved. Space science obviously solved. Oh, I'll tell you why it's going slow, right? This is it's a longer science than what we had before. 60 seconds per. Still, the railgun should be ready in 15 minutes. That's a good sign. Win lobby. What's taking so long? Give me those LDS and get out of there. Then you're going over to Glebes. Good to see this isn't wasting its heat. Yeah, when heat's below 550... Whoa! Stack size on 4? Stack size on 1. This thing's been wasting fuel cells. It's been wasting 3 fuel cells per cycle. That's a damn shame. So look at that. The smaller stacks are being replaced with big chunky stacks, which is good. I don't know how to make it so that only the big chunky stacks get replaced, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I love seeing that clog up, absolutely saturate with big fat stacks of ammo. I don't know if I read the belt content anywhere, but we currently have 3,000 and 2,800 ammo and rockets on the belt, ready for these guys to consume. You can see the mix of stacked and unstacked. Win lobby, are you done yet? You are indeed done yet. All right. Double check. You have the processing units, low density structures, concrete, and refined concrete. Get on out of there. It's time to go to Gleba. Rocket fuel should never be a concern on Aquilo. Yeah, you can make it here, but I don't want to make it here. That's going to involve doing another setup where I have to use more ammonia. And I don't want to stretch my oil thinner, although we have additional oil to exploit. I don't buffer my oil, which... Is that a concern? Is it a solvable concern? We have the answer to both of those things. Ah! Maybe not. Then again, maybe. Sorry, I know I'm impacting on everything here, but you have to understand it's for the greater good. Where my substation's at. Alright, keep it all connected and keep it flowing. That way I can buffer up the oil, so I can keep an eye on if anything slows down there. Efficiency modules on Aquilo. Fellow engineers rolling in their graves. 5 hours to go. 1,200 of the science at the ready. Win lobby on its way to Gleba. Still need to make these bleeding things. Tungsten plates, yes. Superconductors, yes. Carbon fiber, soon to be yes. Quantum processor, soon to be yes. Well, these need more superconductors. That's why we're picking up more of them. Maybe I should distribute this garbage. Hey, look, space for garbage. Kind of. I'll put it along here. Give me the carbide. I'll probably just have bots move this stuff over. Or I'll even hand feed. You know, go out the way we started. Why do I have additional electric engines? I'm sure there was a good reason. Maybe in my head I thought I could have multiple rocket launchers coming from this planet, but why? For what purpose? Still going to keep this thing here for now, but only for now. Because it gets in the way of me having even more of these plates. Although actually now, I'm running out of the production of plates. Because I'm running out of brine. And the hunger for brine is only going to grow. And its production of brine is going down because I'm exhausting this thing. Wait, no, that's fluorine, and I have loads of fluorine. Brine is down here. How is brine suffering? Well, it's doing a good job of suffering. I suppose that's why I brought beacons. Except these things are ill-placed to have beacons aid them. That is a damn shame. Alright, you there. Speed these suckers up. And I suppose the other ones I can just do something like this. I suppose their energy consumption isn't such a big deal that I need to worry about running them efficiently. But if brine is something that I'm struggling on, then clearly we need brine time. That's just another megawatt or two. Bring that brine flowing in. And if this thing trends up, that's a good sign. What does chat think of the odds of Jake making it? Says Otter Muppet. T for 2 says, I bet my life savings on win. And it's going to come in big. How were the odds? Loads of people thinking I'm making it. It's 2 to 1 there. The lose lobby are the one that could win big here. But, you know, winning is better than losing. Better than losing all your points, right? That is still not a satisfactory amount of brine. But I can't really squeeze more brine out unless I go mega beacon over here. Right, before I even consider that, how's Win Lobby doing? Win Lobby has not yet got all the carbon fiber. We're still waiting on one more rocket launch of carbon fiber. God, everybody's over Gleba right now. Poor Gleba's having to work hard. It's okay, Gleba will get everything it needs with my agonizingly slow bots. I love my Gleba base. Just unreservedly so. I wonder if I even have a splitter for this. There we go. Now it is uncloggable. Although I don't think that could have ever clogged it. But yeah, if any bioflux spoils, then it goes into the big burning place in the sky. Alright, Wind Lobby. Wind Lobby, you now have all of that. I know that because the last bit got launched over to you. And then you're going to go over and get the last gubbins from Fulgora. And then you're going to take the final batch of science back, because surely I'll have all the science ready for you. I got 1.4 thousand. That's not enough. Not yet, at least. Because there's a lot of expensive research that still needs to be done, and it is slow, expensive research. Yeah, exactly, Sudazima. We're one little whoopsie away from losing hours of needing to make another rocket, or bringing our dying rocket back home, licking its wounds. So let's not start thinking this is one and done yet. I would have to go on a long exploration to find more brine, so we really have to make do with the brine that we have right now. And since it's still not cutting the mustard, I'm going to do some very expensive beacon things, which is a dedicated beacon each. No, I'm not happy about that. But the energy concerns shouldn't be a concern, because unless the oil runs out, then this stuff will burn indefinitely, because we get rid of the excess ice. I suppose one consideration is I could back up on ammonia, but the ammonia will still be consumed. It still just means that this stuff is going to produce at 100%. It's if the ice backs up that the fuel stops and everything dies. And that is exactly why I have this set up here. So if the ice ever truly backs up, and we know it backs up because this thing ends up with too much ice, then it starts with the recycling. It's a beautiful setup. Really beautiful. I gotta pat myself on the back. But I need all hands on Declan for this one. Right, Wind Lobby, you finally have your carbon fiber. Make your way over to Fulgora. Get the last of the gubbins. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rocket launches from Fulgora, but Fulgora shouldn't have a problem with that. And then you come back here, slowly and steadily. That said, with the stacked ammo and rockets, it really shouldn't be difficult for you. How many rockets do you even have there? You got 4,000 rockets and 4,000 ammo stacked away. And you're still making more of it. And I can't help but feel that I should be expecting more. Wait a second. Brainwave. What if we stacked these ahead of time? Oh yeah. Oh, the big brains on this lad. Then there's even less work for the stackers to do. And it also solves a bit of the problem here where it's backing up. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh god, that's... I wonder if I'm running into problems by doing that. Because one of the problems with stack inserters is the way that they back up if they don't have a full hand. I think only if there's spoilage will stack inserters unload unless they have a full hand. And a full hand for them is 16. Let's believe in it. I believe. 7 minutes to railgun. The railguns aren't the important part. Beginning the production of railgun ammo is the important part. I'm going to need rather a lot of that where I'm going, which is the system edge. Jake actually using circuits? What's the world come to? I've been using circuits the whole time, Nex. I love the circuit system in this game. Always keen to downplay my achievements in this game. Well, when's the last time we saw Nix do a 100% Deathworld run of this? So I'm going to be leveraging that over pretty much everybody who criticizes my bases, because, as I said before, the only reason I'm doing this run is because I can't watch it anywhere. I want to see this run be done. If I could watch it be done by someone better than me, then all the better. That's why the mod games are what they are. I like to see good performances, especially in games I care about. Am I in a position to actually make another couple of these? I think the boat has sailed on that one. Just get me my 4,000 holmium. Yeah! How many Logibots do I even have here? 406. Okay, they're doing better than Gleba then. One of them's ready to rock and roll. The other one will be soon. Been quite a while since we had a mod game. fair few months, but then again, I lose track of time. Could have been longer than that. Hold on, I was meant to spend this time planning my quantum processing, and I never did. Right. In fact, I should be making the quantum processors. Right, so I need these to get fluorocetone and a bunch of stuff that can be brought over by bots. So as long as cold fluorocetone makes its way over to them, which it could do right here. Absolutely no reason I can't just have cold fluorocetone over here. You there. How long does it take to even make these things? They aren't made in these? Hold that thought. These are made in assemblers. No, they're made in electroplants. Oh my lord. I did not know that. Oh, Christ almighty. Do I even have electroplants here? Win lobby. The rules of engagement have changed. Thank God past Jake left behind some electroplants. Oh, wise man. Wise old man. Old man. Get me 10 electroplants. Stat. Made in electroplants. Jesus, who could have seen that coming? Anyone, I guess. Alright, give me these back. Including the ice platforms, right? I'm not a charity. Haven't been good games that I've fancied seeing on the mod game list for a wee while. But then there's also not a huge demand for mods, are there? The ones we currently have do an excellent job at cutting people down, and over the years we've fostered a disgusting, toxic, elitist place that keeps the bottom feeders out, so all is well. Alright, with or without the goodies, I should probably still be planning this. Still waiting on quite a few goods coming up here. Alright, a bit of planning. And stuff still needs to come on over. Comes out a little awkwardly, huh? Let's put you somewhere like here. Give myself space to work with. I need to make these. I need another one of you, but you're going to be switched around like so. How many of these things do I need? How long does it take to make one of these bad boys? Not that we need a ton of them. 30 seconds! The codex does not support this. Maybe I should be banking my cold fluorocetone. Maybe I should be making fluorocetone? Fluorocetone production looking a little soft there, sire. I can't honestly say I'm chuffed to bits. Maybe let's increase this a bit. I am a little troubled by this. I mean, the cold fluorocetone is always getting used, right? But it keeps saying output full for the hot stuff. Right, in that case, let's solve it the incredibly lazy way. With the power of buffer. There we go. Just have more of it and all is fine. It can keep its circuit condition, we don't really care. Oh, do we? I'm not getting it then. You know what? No more of that. Just fill us up with more of this stuff. We need it, clearly. And these things are going to crank me out this stuff. Oh, but these also put out hot fluorocetone. Oh my days, I did not consider that. Perhaps I should have. Try and minimize the amount of nonsense we're doing here. With something like this. Does he know what he's doing? Well, someone has to. I am unsure of this, sire, but sure. So the hot fluorocetone rejoins the everything over here. Cold fluorocetone comes in here. And these are all going to be fed. How's it going, Win Lobby, by the way? Have you got your goodies yet? Why the delays? Ah, because Fulgora is slow as sin at building rockets, because I never beaconed these things properly. Or at all. And I never actually left any beacons. Ah, whatever, it'll be done soon enough. And the railguns will be done soon as well. Will they? Will they be done at all? Novice, how are we looking on the amount of science that we have there? Couldn't help but notice that you have 0 cryogenic science there. I don't think we're quite going to get railguns finished in time then. Don't worry about it. Well, maybe worry a little bit about it. Right, so these guys, I'm just going to feed them their goods through botting. Because I cannot be ringed doing anything more elaborate than that. How about power? My limited power. I don't actually want you there. There is fine, though. What if I need these beaconed? I left myself no space for beacons. That's not true. We got beacon space down here. Whatever you need can go in here. That seems reasonable. And hey, I have exactly 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why do I only have 6 of those? Do I have no more long irons here? Well, this is exactly why I brought the gubbins to make more. How is that just out of range? Wait, the power itself is out of range. Jeez, I'm glad I brought more of these things than I need. Win Lobby, what's taking so long? None of them are on the way. No, the final ones are on their way. Have you got the electroplants? You do, good. So the electroplants coming over, we get those going. Don't tell me railguns are also made in electroplants. No, they're made in cryoplants, so that's fine. And I do need more of those. These guys are just going to output into whateversville. The specifics we're not too concerned about. Whoops. That's okay, you don't need to be there. Hope I'm not hurting my my heat in any way. Alright, there we go. So we're going to have a really crappy amount of these things being produced. I'll beacon them up as necessary and as my power can manage. Fortunately, railguns don't need to be automated. I just need to hand feed a bunch of them. So a single cryogenic plant will take care of all of that. Win Lobby, for the love of God. Okay, they got everything. I can cane that and bring you back over to Aquilo. Is there something else I was forgetting? I don't know. Alright, but now there is so much ammo around here. Wait, why do the rockets look like they're struggling? 3.2 thousand rockets on the belt. But they do look like they're struggling, don't they? Maybe my sudden movement made them shoot a lot of rockets and then they suddenly grabbed everything they could off the belt. That's the belief I'll go with. Fourth plant has a misplaced output of hot stuff, says Sir Thunder. What's this? Help on a weekly one-shot? Jake is on track? No, is Jake on track? Asks the Rolling Ninja. Lose lobby member extraordinaire. 50,000 points on the line for the Rolling Ninja. So how do I best address this in a way that crushes their spirit? Or do I make them feel that there's a good chance that I fail and that they get all the dosh they could ever need? Difficult choice. It's anyone's game, Rolling Ninja. Let's go with that. But I would say it's mine more than anyone. I have a quiet confidence about this. With one exception, if the ship just dies on the way to the system edge, then most hope is lost. I would need to very swiftly reassemble another ship. And I'd need to somehow make that ship not die like the old one did. And the biggest problem is bootstrapping that ship to actually start up, because we had big problems with that. And I don't have nuclear power at the ready, nor am I in a position to very swiftly make fusion power either. Oh, the railgun died. No. Those rockets do not last. That's deeply concerning. I think one of the problems is the explosives don't last. And that's, as always, been a problem with sulfur and coal. Yeah, the coal game is weak, man. Real weak. I wonder if it's ever a consideration to ship sulfur and coal up to a rocket ship so they can make explosives better. Alright, so this is a 30,000 kilometer journey, and we have to make a 100,000 kilometer journey in much, much more dangerous areas. Fortunately, we don't have to do the 4 million kilometer journey. Why they put that in the game, I'll never know. It's just, it's horrible. Oh, would you look at that? All of their hot stuff is out because I reversed things. Not a real concern, though. Done and done right. I don't like taking my eyes off the win lobby. Now, I should be confident in this thing, but if anything ever goes wrong, I need to smash that pause thrust button and assess the situation. And, you know, small asteroids, medium asteroids, yeah, okay, the walls can tank it. Maybe they'll smash a couple of turrets. But those big ones are just going to go through a whole lot of the ship. And the huge ones are going to be an even bigger problem. So those railguns need to be operational and fed. Fed on a hearty diet of railgun ammo. Which is going to take time to make. I don't know how much time, though. I think they have a priority for explosives. The steel and copper cables shouldn't be a problem. But the explosives are a problem. It's 2 per round. And I don't know how many I need to comfortably make my way to the end. You could ship explosives. It's 500 per rocket, I believe. Rocket capacity 500. Not bad. I mean, in a desperate situation, I could ship those up and hand feed them. Didn't I ever bank rockets over in Vulcanus? Explosives, rather. Don't say no, by the way. I don't want to hear no. Oh, I did. Not enough of them, evidently. Get more of that just in case. It might not be a bad just in case moment. All right, we're stopped at Aquilo, as we should be. Aquilo, here is first and foremost the cryogenic plants. And beyond that, here's your carbon fiber. Here's your superconductors and your vast quantity of holmium. I'm limited in how many orbital drops I can do at once due to the lack of these. I think each of these can take 2 rockets at once. Sure. Alright, Win Lobby, what else did you bring over for me? You brought me some more low-density structures and processing units. And I want that holmium. What else did I bring over? The concrete. Yes. Shipping concrete is horrible because you can only launch up 100 at a time per rocket. Feels really bad to move around logistically. Concrete, please. Refined concrete also, please. I need that for the cryo plants. And then I think that's everything that I was bringing over here. Of course, what you need is a big, fat stack of all of my science. How much science do I have? Well, I'm going to send you up a few rockets worth. I should have automated this some way. Get that up to Win Lobby. And Win Lobby, you should have a specific Aquilo science thing, which means I could just label it with the Aquilo science thing, and then tell you to take cryogenic science. I want you to take as much as you can. No custom minimum payload, just get as much as you can. And this thing will now do automagical requests. And then when I check Win Lobby, it's going to say, it's on its way, sir. We're going to bring 2,000 back home. 2,000 is going to finish off Railgun. It's going to get us Fusion Reactor. It's going to get everything! This is the final science production, or the final science delivery. Alright, am I willing to send up extra science just to be absolutely certain about that? I think I will. Alright, very good. All of this science is getting moving on the double. This would be easier if I hand-fed it. These bots are pathetically slow. I might have miscounted. Why is this not taking? There. Oh, cannot manually insert. Whoa, no. I didn't allow you to do that. There, take that. Stupid bots. Can't be trusted. These things are not going for some reason. Why are they not going? Oh, because I don't know how to put these things in the right place, it seems. Take these and move them down by 1. Additional rocket. Take all of the science. All of the science that I can and deliver it to Win Lobby. When Win Lobby next returns here, it's going to be receiving railguns. Hope I haven't made a mistake here, but it could easily happen. Right, these things are energy hungry, and they have a lot of space for modules, and my electricity is dying. Why? Oh, the rocket launch. Don't worry about the rocket launch. These things already have a 50% boost in output, productivity output, so I'm not too worried about... Oh god, I only have 1 beacon. Sorry friends, science is no longer my best friend. Whatever these weird things are, these are my new best friends. Although they are homming away on my electricity. There we go. My love for green modules will not end anytime soon. There we go. So now we're actually getting these things cranked out. Unfortunately, they're eating my lithium plates. Because they're out of holmium? You shouldn't be out of holmium. No, it's just that these things are too bloody slow. Right, you know how you solve problems in Factorio? With your own bare bloody hands, that's how. Behold, the true meta. The hand-feed meta shall return with a vengeance. Give me that, give me that. While I'm doing all this, my rocket ship should probably be returning right now. You've got the goods? Damn right you got the goods. Alright, axe that for now. Get your arse back to Novice on the double. Quick double check that I've not forgotten any of your goods. Doesn't look like it. You got a good amount of ammo backed up. You got over here with no problem, so I have no reason to think you're going to have additional problems. How do these things get heated? I didn't think about that now, did I? No, sir, I did not. That means these guys need to put out their excesses somewhere. And I can't heat that, can I? No. Problem is these buggers going too slow. I need those plates and I need them badly. If this thing weren't here, life would be easier. I might be building my arc after the storm has started in this regard. I need to lighten my load a touch. Alright, in that case, here's some general storage for my bots to move around. Take that. Take these as well. What else did I jot down for you? The holmium plates galore, but this is where the holmium plates are needed. Well, we need other places. Take the holmium here. Get this rocket fuel off my hands. LDS. LDS is cool. How about you just take it all here, considering that that's the only place you're really going to be needed. Giant concrete things. I need this made. Give me a few of those, please. Give me the rest of these gubbins, because you are now gone. If you ever end up with excess amounts of this stuff, just shove it over here for me. And you can do the same. The spaghettification shall continue. Actually, I don't even need to do that, because I have this right here. Yoink. Shove it over here. Shove that stuff over there. Shove that stuff over there. I want you to take any of this stuff that's going free. Not a lot of it, though. Just take like 5. The hand-feeding meta. Alright, that should solve some of my needs, although I also need these things not to be eating up my power. Power is a grave concern on this planet. Power is a very grave concern on this planet. Why are you slowing down? I have a lot of steam backed up and not enough turbines is my assessment of the situation. We're going to improve the power output. Graciously. For some reason I'm low on some long hands. Not this again. There we go. Bring on the power. I didn't check my ship. I hope it's doing fine. Wind Lobby has made it out of the danger zone and is on its way back to Novice on the double as we approach under 4.5 hours to win. Solve what? Who did this mess? We need Jake to fix it. I think we need Bob the Builder to fix it at this rate. But okay, that's going to supplement our plates that we're clearly very short on. Actually, you know what? I think we can turn off science right now. The science needs to stop eating the goods for a little bit. Because we don't need more science. We have enough science. And if we don't, then I panic and I turn those on and everything goes towards making those. What I need right now are the quantum processors. But how many do I need and how high do they stack? They stack to 100. I think we have actually 200 in each of these. That doesn't seem too ridiculous. Too ridiculous. How much lithium plating do I need to make one of these? None at all. Excellent. 100 each, huh? Alright, we'll be ready then. It's all on you, Win Lobby, as it makes its glorious approach towards Novice. Maybe I shouldn't have slowed it down. Let's get rid of your behavioral issues. That needs to be done on both sides, doesn't it? And then watch its speed go! I have no fear about these puny rocks that we see around Novice. We have an overwhelming need for speed right now. Yeah, let's try and remember to re-throttle that when it comes back to Aquilo. For now, I gotta get home fast. Although this is still only about half the speed that a good ship should be going at. So we had that individual, Illispid, saying they were absolutely certain we weren't going to make this. And they put every bit of lunch money they had on the lose lobby, with that in mind. Right, bring on the cryogenic science, that is the top priority here. And I'm convinced I need no more things from here, right? The uranium should hold, the ammo should hold. Do I want to bank some emergency rockets? Explosives, rather. You know what, we have a bit of time to kill, I think I will. Let's go to Vulcanus and grab some emergency explosives. When the railguns are ready, we shoot for the stars. Look at that science per minute. Jump right up. 10 to go till railgun o'clock, and then these things are going to kick in. Might as well watch it happen. These things are beaconed. Amazing. Yes. Oh god, they're slow. Why does it take so long to make railgun ammo? Do I speed them up yet further? Do I even have beacons with which to... Any time I hear that noise, the heart's going to be pounding. Right, I was checking if I had any modules with which to speed these up. And I have regular speed modules. Please speed up. I care not about the cost on power. This is why I have nuclear power. Do I really not care about power? No, I don't think so. The biggest consumer is going to be these things running, and they're already running, because these things are running. But yes, out come our first stacks of railgun ammo. Notably, I have no railguns, but that's not a problem. I will claim that's not a problem. Right, so our funny idea here is that I want to grab some emergency explosives, because I am concerned about my explosive production in a big way. So we go to somewhere to find it. There they are. I always find these ones tucked away. I forget where batteries and explosives are all the time. We naturally want these from Vulcanus, like the worst place to get explosives, but we're doing it. Let's take 2,000 explosives, please. You know, just in case. Did you find the thing that was mixing? Yes, I did. I absolutely did. What is this doing here? It was this. Long-handed inserter puts it on the far side. Absolutely shouldn't. It should put it on that side. Why is that not being built? Good lord, don't tell me I'm sure. Well, you know what? I was asking myself what these are for. Clearly saving that for later. Alright, there we go. Yeah, fortunately it was just that one and it doesn't activate all that often, so it wasn't causing a clogging issue. Because eventually those bits on the other side would have been taken. Inserters have a preference for far away. You know, they take from far away and they put on far away. But if it's not available, they'll take from closer. So it's not a problem that would have amounted to anything. But it was still bad design, so we've got it fixed. But yeah, that was an easy oversight because longhand inserter, you tend to not think further about it, but then just that extra square of movement throws one's mind off. Hey, we got the explosives, and we got them pretty fast. Not enough to fill a rocket. Okay, well, 1,500 will surely do. I think the time has come. Let us return to Aquilo. Unless I want to be around here because the asteroid situation is better. The more I fly around, the more asteroids I harvest, the more resources I have with which to make these. I currently have 116 railgun ammo already. That's quite insane. We might not be in any real problem. The railguns don't need to shoot that often, and I do have to wait for the stuff to be researched anyway. You're doing God's work out there, Win Lobby. Why don't you just hang out and stay cool there for a bit? There are plenty of rocks on the belt. Plus, the power demands are lowest when you're at Vulcanus. Yeah, look how much solar panels are doing compared to the nuclear power. Incredible. Well, it does save me. Alright, hang around there and make me some more railgun ammo. You can't move here anymore. Anyway, until we have Promethium science done. So you might think, Jake, you only chipped over like 2,500 science, but this is 4,000 science worth of research. And that is where mathematics comes to save the day. We get a staggering 50% science drain reduction from the biolabs, and we get 24% productivity boost that compounds with that. So one bit of science is actually like lots of science. More than 2, but less than 3. So really, I sent over like 4,000 or 5,000 science. And that'll get this done. In 15 minutes, we'll have fusion technology. And a further 20 minutes, we'll have Promethium technology. And then we're actually going to do express delivery with 3 hours to spare. Unless we crash and die along the way. Right, so how about we prepare for that eventuality? Let's imagine we're going la-di-da on our way and suddenly, oh no, I am out of rockets for some reason. I made a mistake, something clogged. The stack inserters weren't working the way I wanted them to. Logic mix-up means that we launched all the rockets overboard. Asteroid coming in. Brrrr, and I have to hobble back home, or worse yet, the spaceship dies. We need a backup plan for that. Vulcanus, you're in charge of the backup plan. Well, as all rocket stuff is done from here. Is crashing and dying a reload? This has been a 0 reload run, and we're keeping it that way. No external blueprints, no reloading. Because, you know, blueprints are for suckers. Every blueprint we have, we've made along the way. Oh, God. Maybe Vulcanus can't make another ship because I'm out of coal. Oh, no. And I didn't secure the other coal patch. Okay, we actually have to just do it on the ship then. I don't think the bots could set up an automated destroyer of the worms here. Uh-oh. Well, I guess we can squeeze what little is left of this coal patch somehow. Go, 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 my coal friends. This is sadder than sad, man. No coal in the stockpile. Well, that kills plastic dead as well. There is actually just no plastic to be had. Well, let's dedicate some of this towards plastic. Plastic is important, you know. Egads, though. Well, credit to the starting location. It got us this far. Which is yet another reason I say that Vulcanus is too overpowered. The resources you get here, we barely touched the calcite. There's still 600,000 calcite here. These miners can mine quite a ways yet. And then, you know, these tiny little crappy starting drills are still supplying all of my power. Which barely needs to do anything because acid neutralization is too powerful. I guess balance changes are beyond the specification of what we want to do with this at the moment, but I still am just bamboozled. Some things are just too powerful. Alright, the last specks of coal are going to be coming to me. Oh, is that more coal that I could possibly be having? Sign me up for more coal, please. Okay, so backup spaceship is off the cards now. That's simply not going to happen with what we have here. Unless I flew over personally to secure this area. I suppose I don't have to, right? The bots could do it. I guess we'll have to try it. Wait, I don't even know the size of the thing here. It might be small, it might be medium at this stage. Oh well, let's do our damnedest. Is that even within build range? It is, kind of. Just shove that thing over as far as one can. Can't build in a fog of war. I'll tell you where I can and cannot build. But you're going to be the one that tells me. There you go. Alright, so ultimate backup plan if everything goes Pete Tong. I need that coal to restart the base to get myself another ship up and out there. Yeah, there are mods to make things harder, but there's a problem with doing that, and that's that you hold yourself back artificially. And that takes me out of the immersive experience. Oh, hold on, I said I got the railguns, I never actually started making the railguns. The problem is with Deathworld. Deathworld, you know, once upon a time, Deathworld was pressuring you for about half of your run. Now it's pressuring you for about 10% of your run, if that. It's just not hard enough. Right, I need railguns. What do I need for railguns? Stuff. All the stuff that I brought over. I forget, does that include calcite or the... No, it's the plates. The plates, the fiber, the fluorocetone. Don't forget the fluorocetone. I'll forget what I want when I want. Nice cold fluorocetone. Good, we're not overproducing hot fluorocetone. I hope this thing isn't being run ragged. It might be being run ragged. How much does this stuff need? 10, as opposed to 6. Why are these things stopped anyway? Oh, because I have all the superconductors. That's amusing to me. Here. But this thing needs some more. Oh, it doesn't even use superconductors. Okay, well that's fine. Quantum processing... Come to me. And the other gubbins. That includes all of this. I hope that's enough of this. And where are the carbon fiber? Oh, please don't tell me I used all the carbon fiber already. According to this, there's 1.8 thousand carbon fiber in the network, but where is it? Where is my carbon fiber? It's in a box over there. Thank goodness for that, by the way. I'd lose my own arse if there wasn't a map of it. Alright, no big deal. I only need 4 of these. Although I do need the rockets to blast them up, all 4 of them, to my spaceship. Quick checking to make sure the science is going. The science dips every now and then. I can only assume that's the importing of a certain kind of science, probably agricultural science. Probably, because everything else is fine. Yeah, or... We keep running out of low-density structures. We don't seem to be. Do we run out of blue chips? No, my crappy setup with the electroplants is doing fine. I want to burn all of the novice base except for the initial patch. I don't think I'll keep playing this save after we get to 100%. And I'll keep it around as some kind of relic. Alright, we've got one of them already, so this will take no time flat. We only need a handful of them. Yeah, Deathworld making no changes on the other planets is bizarre. Why does Deathworld have no impact on Gleba? Why does it have no impact on Vulcanus? You've got an enemy there. Make them tougher, make them more aggressive, have multiple of them in one place to shut down strategies for destroying them. Have big ones expand to take land back so that you need to come to Aquilo to get railguns to beat them back. And while we're at it, don't give Vulcanus 7 million resources right next to where you start. It already has infinite ore out the lava. It's just... I'm not happy about it. Deathworld should be deadlier. I should not have made this challenge with my disgusting bases. But here we are, making it. You don't get enough of this, do you? You're not prioritized well enough. can get rid of that, actually. That improves this by about 50% of the amount that it gets in there. Also, you've got backup hot fluorocetone. It's not a big deal. Are you a big deal? I still only have one of you. Still waiting on that cold fluorocetone. This thing's running as best it can, and yet it's not good enough. Speed up, you bum. We don't have electricity concerns for now. And those electroplants hoovering up my poor energy. But they've come to a stop because of the lack of lithium plating. That's okay, we already have enough of this stuff. Frankly, I could turn them off and all would be well. Got another one. Alright, in fact, you know what? How about you just get all of the stuff? Finish off my guns. Alright, feels good. I feel like I can finally relax. The only pressing concern is if my spaceship can't make the journey. All resources and research has been accounted for. Shame on the submitter for such a baby challenge, says Varen. God, the lose lobby clinging onto any criticism they can. This thing, does it actually dispose of that ice fast enough, I wonder? I could actually bring it up here and speed it up a bit more. Although I need you to share the same logic. Doesn't matter, ice just becomes ice in a recycler, so you can fill them both up and it'll be fine. Lose lobby full of losers. Living up to their name. Alright. Now we have all 4 of these that I need. Should I make a backup pair? Yes, I should. Because what if a stray asteroid comes and destroys 1 or 2 of my my railguns? That is an excellent kind of backing up that I should do. I'll send up 4 if I can. Yeah, 4 backup railguns. Thank you, please. Very good. We're not losing heat, are we? No, the heat situation is just fine. I could actually expand my power production and it wouldn't be a big deal. But it seems that power is under control. I'm getting that dip every now and then back at Novice. I suppose it's not a huge deal. I could speed these things up if I thought I had the power. But power and not... Wait. Maybe that's what's causing the dip. Lack of power. Does the dip coincide with night time? Maybe. Oh, wow. Solar farm not big enough. It wasn't finished, was it? Is there anything I can do to ease my power concerns in this godforsaken place? Not really. No, I just have to accept the nights are long and dark. Pride cometh before the fall. In other words, to such effect. Let's not forget the I forgot the fuel moment last year. That felt really bad. Getting to Aquilo and realizing you can't do anything because you have nothing to burn. Can't burn ice, I'm afraid. I deleted this, didn't I? Where should I put it back? You want to go here? Isn't it grand? Adds to the hideousness of this base. Okay, how's Wind Lobby looking? How absolutely stacked with things are you? You don't actually have any railgun ammo stacked in here yet. You will keep putting it in here until we have a buffer of 300, and you will put it out as long as the belt doesn't have 3,200. But the sad, sorry truth is, wait a second, this is a sadder and sorrier truth than I was expecting. Where the hell's the steel? Where's this? Something weird has gone on. This has been clogged. Why? I see. For some reason this... I don't even remember building that thing, but for some reason it was outputting the wrong item. Well, it wasn't filtered, rather. There we go. That thing also looks like it could be sped up by a stack insertion. Don't make that noise at me. It's very, very scary. Okay, there we go. Keep it moving. No need to panic, Ratty. No need to panic. That said, that was bad. That was a complete shutdown in the ammo production for too long. Let's see exactly how long. Remember, I need these things. Oh, jeez. Well, more than 10 minutes, but roughly half the time. But that does tell me about the rate that we're going to be making it, so that's not too shabby. Stack inserters eat power. Ugh, they're not that bad. 337 kilowatts while working, as opposed to 169 on bulk inserters, or 59. But the thing is, they stack them pretty damn high. I think the payoff is good. Fusion reactor get. Now, in 20 minutes, we will learn about the solar system edge. And then we begin our pilgrimage. So we got 20 minutes to suck our thumbs. Sucking thumbs sounds good. I'm going to take a water break with the timer rolling. Alright, much better. Promethium science. 16 minutes away. We're certainly not going to get the science anytime soon. Quick check on Win Lobby as these things go along. You know, I'm surprised that the explosives are backing up as much as they are. Well, not truly backing up, are they? This thing has really rather run out of asteroids. However, that's easily fixed. I can tell it to go to Novice. N-A-U-V-I-S, I'll have you know, just a mechanic. So I don't call it Novice, it's Novice. Well, Czechs made this game, so I guess they're the final authority on how to say it. Let's get back to choking this, shall we? There's no incentive for us to go fast right now, and there's every incentive to keep the spaceship alive. So our speed will go down, but if anything, that gives us more time to grab all these goodies. These are still only uncommon grabbers. I'd rather they were rare, but I don't have rare. Well, maybe I do. I think I set up their production long, long ago. I got 3 rare ones, actually. Would have been nice to send up, but probably not necessary. What's the power bump going from nuclear to fusion? It is enormous, but my argument is that there's no need for that enormity. It's really good for spaceships that go towards the, not just the system edge, but the shattered planet. So you would want it if you were heading over to farm Prometheum asteroids. And for ultra mega bases, yeah, sure, the extra power is welcome. But in my opinion, nuclear and acid neutralization and even burning on Gleba is plenty for almost anything until you're, completely maxing out speed and production beacons and whatnot. And Novice has all of the things it needs for nuclear science right there on the planet. So why would you want to set up logistics to bring in stuff for fusion? It is good though, like really, really, really good. Output on a fusion generator here is 50 megawatts, but it also gets the the bonuses that you can get from nuclear stuff. It's a little different to set up though. Yeah, there we go. We get the neighborhood bonus on the plasma generation, but the plasma doesn't go through pipes. Speaking of pipes, I think somebody asked why you have random disconnected pipes on Win Lobby. Like this stuff. So I had another ship. That's why there are these accumulators in weird ways. I set up the ship as like a skeleton that just had solar panels, accumulators, foundation, and lasers to keep it safe in orbit until it was able to build up into this form. And some of these things are just left over from copy-pasting over. Anyway, we stopped at Novice, but I don't even want to be stopped at Novice. We just did this to have more rocks on the belt. Wouldn't it be worth setting up one on Novice to fix the power drop? It doesn't need fixed, though. At least not right now. It's having, what is that? That's like a 5% impact on our research speed when we already have 3 hours spare on this. I'm not going to bother fixing that. Not until we're in the post-game, right? Post-game, once we get to the system edge, I still have other achievements to get. Novice isn't a straight shot over to Aquilo, is it? Maybe go over to Gleba right now, then. I'm mostly doing this sailing around so I can get more resources. How are we doing on these? I actually have 600 railgun ammo on the belt, and I'm quite confident in that. Because the railguns don't need to fire very often. I think 1,000 would get me to the edge. In fact, we can measure how much is needed. Even so, get over to Gleba. You don't need to pick up anything from Gleba, and I've told you not to unload on Gleba. But yeah, I'm very happy to see all these firearm magazines and rockets. I'm stacking up to 10,000 so that if production doesn't keep up, and I'm all but certain production won't keep up, at least we'll have a good buffered amount to get us there. Because all we need to do is get to the system edge before the timer runs out. The ship could be reduced to nothing but the space platform hub itself and just drift over the finish line, and it'll still be okay. Fusion plants do look very cool in my opinion. They do look cool, and they are incredibly efficient on space. And the resources that they need to run aren't that hefty. It's kind of like nuclear stuff, what you set up here lasts a long time. So lithium and ammonia, both made on planet in Aquilo, and the holmium plates you bring over a lot of anyway. And you get one fusion power cell that has 40 gigajoules of power. Compare that to nuclear, which I'm sure is somewhere around here. And these things have 8 gigajoules in exchange for stuff that's readily available on Novice. The offshot though is that the fusion is done in fusion turbines. You don't need all these heat exchangers, pipes, steam turbines, backing up of fluids, because you can't back up plasma. Plasma doesn't go in pipes, it just goes between fusion reactors and the turbines. It'll always drift back to Aquilo. Edge has no gravity. Yeah, I know, but imagine it just preserves a bit of speed to get over there. A few kilometers left to go, the speed is still there, and it just poof makes it over. Or we give it a sudden blast. We remove the speed inhibitors and just turbocharge our way towards victory. It's a thought, a concerning thought. Here we go. This actually just, if we hover over it, we can see how many of each of the rocks we have. We're a little low on oxite chunks, but that's not a big deal. We have a lot of water backed up, and there's going to be a ton of this stuff when we head over Aquilo side. Right, so now I want to actually just go to Aquilo and get the railguns put up here. Although there won't be so many metal asteroids or carbonic asteroids, we have asteroid reprocessing, which will get us the other types. You can reprocess the oxidite ones into the other ones, and we'll probably be doing a ton of that. Also worth noting that we now have this productivity bonus on processing asteroids. So we're actually getting 10% more out of all of the asteroids. That does not apply to reprocessing. That wouldn't make any sense. Then you could just make infinite asteroids out of one asteroid. Maximilian is pointing out the UPS efficiency. Yeah, you know, when you get large enough, your only consideration becomes UPS in this game. I am amazed at how well this is optimized, though. If I make a big enough base in pre-space age, my UPS will start dropping, and I'll start going, ugh. I'll probably just stop playing rather than transitioning to solar and whatnot. But in this one, multiple planets on my 200-hour save, and not a single drop in UPS. I don't know how they manage it. I wonder how it feels to be able to spend so much time on optimizing your code. Obviously, that was not a huge priority at Paradox. I say obviously because the results spoke for themselves more often than not. So I wonder how it feels just to be able to take a bit of pride in your work and make it nice and optimized. By having Factorio players programming the game, I've got a lot of grand strategy players programming the games at Paradox. And I know how frustrated they would sometimes get because they want to improve something or optimize something. It's like, no, we got to get this other thing out the door. So, too bloody bad. Maybe I'm not allowed to say that. EU5 access revoked. It's true though. It's all right. Sometimes the truth can hurt. Once we get over there, I will just tell you to demand. Sod the science, I now want you to grab railguns. You can only bring up one at a time, so bring up as many as you can. And yet knows to take it from Aquilo. A story as old as corporations. Why not get the better bullets? Why stick with basic ones? Because basic ones are cheaper. And I like cheap. The problem here is throughput of resources, right? I can't get all these things working all the time because I don't have the quality foundries to pump out the steel as fast as I would want, or as much as I would want. So we're throttled on that. I want to squeeze the most damage per iron that I can, and that is by a long shot firearm magazines rather than advanced firearm magazines. Quick comparison, 4 of these for a magazine that's going to deal 13, well, no, not quite, because it goes through the other stuff. Also, that doesn't equate to 13, 12, let's say. Let's just take the base amount here. 12 damage, 4 iron plates, or 19 damage for 1, 2, 3, 4, half a steel plate and 1 copper plate, because it's 2 for 2 here. Yeah, you're not getting double the output here, not by a long shot. So I'm happy to stick with what I have. Didn't the Factorio devs also get the help of the space exploration mod developer with this? They brought him on board. Erandel, I think was his name. I didn't like his dev diaries. They were too... what's the term? Too much like they're being told to me by a D&D story maker. But, mechanically, very happy with what came out here, so... Very impressed by his work. I never touched Space Age. And I regret reading the dev diaries, actually, because it dampened a lot of my enthusiasm for playing the game. However, when I finally got into it, oh my days, the fun I've had with Space Age. The fun I continue to have with Space Age as it stresses me to bits. Yeah, certainly verbose. Ah, welcome, Andarius. You're on the mind when I play that deconstruction simulator game. Have you checked it out by any chance? Right, how did that do for our consumption of ammo and rockets? Because that's, you know, we've got a bit of time while the rail guns come up, because I totally set this to automatically fulfill requests. The rail guns that I totally made available to the log net. Okay, they'll get it. I'm not doing that manually. Wait, why did a Logibot do that? I thought construction bots brought those over. Anyway, get those up there. No, it's a bit like you playing a stream simulator in your off time. Wouldn't that just be weird? Ah, weird things should always be tried at least once. Maybe at least twice, in case you don't trust yourself. Right, I'm curious about the consumption production of ammo for that. Obviously, we didn't use any railgun ammo. Rockets and these other things. These other things and rockets. So the rockets didn't actually... Well, this is actually a sign of when we took off, right? So in the past 10 minutes... Yeah... Gotta consider that only half of that is taken into account. I wish you could do custom timelines for this one, because, you know, the jump from 10 minutes to 1 hour to 10 hours is a bit too much for my liking. Anyway, baseline rocket productivity is about 100 a minute, and firearm magazine about 200 per minute. And that's assuming that we don't run out of explosives or iron. And assuming that I'm not running out of explosives is a bit of a tall order. Those explosives are drying up, which is why I brought more. And the nice thing about the rocket ship is that you can put these things in remotely. Yeah, let's just turbocharge production here. The more, the better. I see a very happy amount of railgun ammo, stacked railgun ammo, making its way along. And the railgun turrets are told to only shoot huge ones. Do not waste your precious railgun ammo on big or medium asteroids, or God forbid, small ones. Gun turrets chew up the small and mediums. Rockets take out the big ones. They ignore unlisted targets so they don't waste ammo. And then the big daddies are taken out by the railgun. The railgun shoots for 10,000 physical damage, which easily destroys these without damage upgrades. Making me wonder, why are there damage upgrades for railguns? Do Promethium ones have more armor than that? Okay, this is why. If you want to take out the huge Promethium ones, it's going to benefit you to deal about 14 or 15,000 damage, so you'll want the research for that. Worm killing. Again, why? Huge worms die to the same thing that I used on small worms, except you want to augment it with damage upgrades and or some electromagnetic Tesla turrets, that's it. Okay, how many rocks do we have on board right now? We got roughly 100 of each, with reprocessing, of course. So not enough for me to want to throw any of them out. We will begin our journey in 3.5 minutes. Probably a little longer than that, because we're going to have our nighttime dip of power. But that's A-okay. With the asteroid productivity, we might even almost break even or make a profit on resources while we're sitting here. The fuel is there, the temperature is fine, the circuit conditions seem to be working. The ammo is stacking. God, that is glorious. Just absolutely glorious. So there's this constant stream of ammo and rockets for those that need it. It will run a little thinner, and I am ready to pause thrust when need be. Things like this concern me. Still feel like the rockets... Say, why are the rockets coming out so thin when they are absolutely jam-packed coming out here? They come down and around and up. You'd think everything is fine. I think these things actually need to concern themselves for even more. Right, I want to absolutely saturate the belt here. Maybe I should never stop taking out of storage. Maybe just kill this enable disable and just always saturate the belt. I can't see a downside to that right now. It's better when I do need to buffer this stuff in here, but for now, I'd rather do this. Yeah, I don't want this thinning out at any point. That rocket launcher had an export arm. Yeah, it exports to the one behind it so that the rockets feed into each other rather than having a separate belt for that stuff coming down. Although throughput-wise, the separate belt would make a lot of sense. There's a bit of wall right here. And here? What? Okay. Might need that to replace any broken bits of wall that we end up with. Alright, it's the calm before the storm, but I'm still incredibly concerned at how light the belt is here. I hope I have solved that through just removing this. It does mean we're going to eat into the buffer, but the buffer is no good if we just die. Similarly, just keep those flowing. Last minute changes to the design? Usually a concerning thing to do, right? Part of the problem, I suppose, is that this stuff cranks it out here, which kind of prevents this stuff going through at all, which is, I suppose, the reason why I wanted these to be limited on how much they throw out. So maybe I should keep it limited. Well, let's limit it to 4,000 or so. Because otherwise the production doesn't actually join the belt. The problem is I don't know how much is on the belt or the limit of the belt. This is where quite a lot of testing your design can come in handy, but we didn't set aside a lot of time for that. Oh, we missed the power dip. Oh well, no need to worry. Less than 4 hours remain for express delivery. Stop making that noise. I know it's just a wall or a bot or something in Novice, which is instantly replaced at no real cost because we still have 2 million iron ore, 2 million copper ore. 67 copper here? This stuff is completely done. The coal is surprisingly holding. I'm glad we made an effort to get that coal. Alright, we're there. Thanks to this research, we can now plot in a course to the solar system edge, and I see no reason to hesitate. We have our 4 railguns with... Why only 2 backups? I guess it's been taking its sweet time launching up an additional one. I'm going to take one more backup railgun before we get moving. What is onsen? Onsen is a Japanese hot spring, but where did that question even come from? Oh, because Alpha has returned from the onsen. Ah, Alpha has returned just in time to see the benchmark that he's clearly going to be running against. Well, it's not a competition, it's just... If it were, I'd be winning. Oh, does that mean I start going right now just to get a better time? No, it's not about the race. The race is simply against myself. This will be the final rocket launch for the ship. If the ship can't make it with this, it's probably safe to say that our run is dead. Because 3 hours I don't think is enough to rebuild a ship. Well, what would happen is I would order... Oh, wait, I would need a ship to actually come and get me. And Wind Lobby is the only ship that can actually get to Aquilo. So I'd have to very remotely figure out things on Vulcanus. But we have already extended a bit of an arm out here because I need to get that coal to restart all of this stuff. Coal is almost completely gone. That's the last coal scraps that we have. Alright, the last one is on the way, huh? Whew. I'll be the first to admit, I'm quite nervous about this flight. Vulcanus is dead, yeah. We had the time to fix Vulcanus, I just didn't want to distract myself. You know, I fill my head with Vulcanus things, and then suddenly I start overlooking important things about the one thing that matters, right, is getting to the solar system edge. I was planning on making a backup ship until I saw that Vulcanus had no real resources. Well, it lacked critical resources. We're completely out of carbonics. That is an explosives problem. Oxide, we're going to make a last-minute change. If we ever have 50 of these, I want them reprocessed. Because, yeah, we clearly lack the other stuff. And oxide is what we're going to be drowning in. Alright, it's time to get going. We're plotting in a new course for the solar system edge. Let's freaking go. Quick check at the space map. This is a journey we're making. It's 100,000 kilometers. 3 times the route to Aquilo and a lot further than the inner planets. And whatever happens out here, we need to deal with it as it happens. Please stop flashing damage to me. That's not what I want to hear right now. We have throttled our speed considerably so that we're more efficient using less resources to travel, but also going slower means that if there's a collision, the collision is less damaging and it gives us more time to open fire on everything. We need to keep a close eye to make sure that all of our things are firing and not running out of ammo. Temporary lack of ammo is fine, but if it's low ammo and the belt is running thin, that is remarkably not fine. Eyes peeled for our first huge asteroid. We got bigs, but we don't have big huge. Solar Edge is the end of us being able to lose the challenge. Every other achievement is doable. Oh, hey, here's a big guy. Oh, there goes the big guy. You go, big guy. That was 1 shot, 3 kills out of 1 railgun. Here's another one. Poof. It is a satisfying weapon. I hope it's not caning my energy, though. Energy is holding. Bless you, nuclear power. I did not at all want to faff around with fusion energy. I really like seeing the rockets going. The static rocket launcher was a great addition to Space Age. Yeah, Maximilian puts it in a good way, as he often does. Solar System Edge is roll credits. From there to Shattered Planet is the post-game. Oh, let's not bring up Shattered Planet. It's such a disappointment. 4 million kilometers of absolutely nothing but lagging your game. And the reward... Oh, man. Yeah, I'll start complaining about that when we get there. Once we start looking at the other achievements that we need to get, I will begin the complaining about what feels like a very unfinished, satisfactory post-game. Absolutely drowning in oxide, by the way, which is why I sped up the oxide reprocessing. In fact, I want to speed it up even more. Please do that very quickly, because we're going to run out of other asteroids if we don't. Quick check on the number of other asteroids. I have 85 metallic, 39 carbonics. So, I don't shoot out the side of my spaceship because these huge things only go from top to bottom. They never come at an angle, at least not more than a couple of degrees. So if you shoot within that cone and destroy stuff, you'll be safe. There's very little point to destroying them if you don't have to. Not only is it a waste of the shot from the railgun, which doesn't need to fire very often. I actually think 2 would have done me fine, but I wanted to play it safe with 4. You also make the smaller asteroids, which will come in at an angle, and then suddenly enter your firing range, and you're going to waste even more ammo. So I strongly believe in not wasting your time shooting at the sides. The ammo seems to be holding, and I'm very happy with stack inserting for this. Although, at a glance, I can tell that if I were not stack inserting my ammo, it would be running thin here. There are gaps in the belt. Some of those stacks are not full stacks, which is why I take in and put out the stacks here as well, just to make sure everything is back on the belt in full stacks whenever possible. Alright, we're a quarter of the way there, but the number of asteroids just gets bigger and bigger. You can actually check that on the thing here. So the big ones give way to the huge ones. Huge numbers go up and up and up. And you might think overall number of asteroids is going down, but huge ones split into 3 big ones, so it actually becomes more, not fewer. Although it's great if the huge ones are over here, because I don't shoot them, because I'm not a maniac who does this. Why? Why would you do this? Maybe there's a good reason, but it goes beyond anything I understand. How can you tell how far along you are? By this progress bar, of course. I know that it's 100,000 kilometers to the solar system edge, and I know we've cleared 30,000 so far. And if you want a better representation, here's our little journey. Factorio is full of nice little things like this. We're going very slow, though. A ship of this stature could be going 3 times as fast, but throttling the thruster fuel that you can not see in the bottom right, because chat is obfuscating it, makes this thing run at a much better efficiency. Here we go. We're running this thing at like 80% or so efficiency. And we're still managing to crank out, what, like 60% of its thrust? I pray for more stones than he can destroy, says HEX. You doubt my design. Many people have doubted a lot of my designs during this. Pretty happy with what we've made. These solar panels on the side are becoming increasingly superfluous. I might trim them off just to prevent any panic from them suddenly getting destroyed by an errant asteroid that I can't reach. Although, really, the reasonable thing is don't touch anything unless we run out of ammo, in which case we slam the emergency stop button right here. Emergency stop will not stop the asteroids coming towards me, but it'll stop me going towards them. So, in a sense, you buy yourself a bit of time to deal with every incoming asteroid, which is why we're even going slow to begin with. That's very nice. It's given me a lot of tons of non-oxidite asteroids. So maybe it was overkill. Yeah, we're having to chuck a lot of them overboard as is. Alright, alright. In that case, you can be changed back to, what was it, 200? 200 it was. Because we still need the oxidite for calcite and ice for water. The water is holding nicely. The water backup is completely full. There is no sign of the calcite being a problem, and because the water is all linked, the water for the thruster fuel and whatnot will still flow from here. I really like having to work around bottlenecks like that. Maybe bottleneck's not the right term, but locking up from overproduction of one good, causing another good that you really need to not produce anymore. Which is why it's probably no surprise that Fulgora is my favorite planet, because that's the entire theme of scrap processing. Ah, Fulgora. I didn't do you justice in this run. I fumbled a lot with you, and I'm really sad about the base that I've made there. But it got us through. It's also the only place that has a functional train. This does not count. Good old Gotlap. We're halfway there. Yes, Alpha. I actually plan to get my quality from Fulgora. You can do quality through upscaling of asteroid chunks, and that is the correct way to do it. I mean, it is just plain correct. It's the best way to get quality, and you'll get quality everything except for planet-specific items like holmium or tungsten or whatnot. But to be honest, you wouldn't get those either from doing the quality on Fulgora. But I find quality on Fulgora to be the most fun quality, so it's what we're probably going to do to get the quality-related achievements. Of course, the first thing I'll be fixing my bloody base issues. I want a better defensive setup on Novice. We're probably just going to have one very long, boring stream where I sort out all of the bigger issues. Maybe I even remake the base on Novice. I'm not sure how much I want to push it. We'll take a look through all the achievements and see. Because I actually think the only achievement that's going to be any amount of effort to get is the quality one. Legendary mech armor filled with legendary things. And I can do that entirely on Fulgora. Asteroid quality is so... Whoa, 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 that's a lot of them. Let's not get complacent now. I know things are going well, but... those asteroids are getting a little close for comfort. Especially the ones on the corner. The corners are structurally weak due to not having so many dedicated... what the heck is this? So many dedicated guns. Guns, guns, guns. Should have added at least a couple more gun turrets on the corners. Quality ammo would have been better as well. Not quality, but... red ammo instead of yellow. Pull an Alpha and drift to the finish with half the ship left. No, I don't have a buffer of 136 nuclear reactors. I could never measure up to Alpha's performance. It's not fair, though. Alpha streamed his first blind run of Space Age. This would not be possible blind. But on a second run of Space Age, clearly it's too easy. We've got almost 10% of the time left. Okay, let's not run our mouth until we're across the finish line. We're 2/3 of the way there. The question about railguns, they pierce everything until they hit their range limit. So they will destroy asteroids along the way. Let's see if we can catch it in the act doing exactly that. Hopefully there's a huge asteroid with a not huge asteroid in front of it. Or even within it. Well, you're dead to rights. How about this one? Doof! That went beyond its range as well. Truth be told, I don't know how far these things really fire. But I don't plan on standing in front of one to find out. Unfortunately, they destroy everything. They even destroy landmines. Please tell me the logic in that one. Power is holding strong. The temperature is holding fine. It goes down at a fairly hefty rate. But see, I told you, uranium would be fine for this journey. You gonna destroy something along the way? Doof. No, you took it out. Satisfying weapon. And look at this thing! Not a threat. No need to even have this. Just let it live in peace. Ah, beautiful, enormous, huge carbonic asteroid. To see one in the wild like this. What a pretty game this is. Not even scraping along the side of the ship, because like I said, asteroids, the huge ones, only fall top down. How goes the ammo counter? Well, that's a good question. We had about 10,000 of each. Actually, I think the rockets are keeping up. The ammo is slowly on its way down. There's plenty on the belt. Yeah, so the ammo is being consumed about twice as fast as it's being made, but the rockets are only being consumed 50% faster than they're being made. Railgun ammo is being produced 3 times faster than it's being made. Even with my explosive shortage. Now that is impressive. Although I think they're still running on the explosives I fed them ages ago. Maybe. Guess those speed modules are going a long way as well. Oh yeah, I think you saw that the shot from the railgun just annihilated a lot of smaller, crappier asteroids along the way. 20,000 kilometers to go. This one's in range. Oof. Think of all the railgun ammo you'd be wasting killing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 huge asteroids. Not a threat to me. Live and let live. These ones as well. So beautiful. Alpha hates to admit it, but he says it's looking good here. One little stumble and things would go considerably worse, but I think even if we took a catastrophic collision right now, we only need to squeeze out the rest. Well, that's not true. If these were to go... Do I have spare foundation? Okay, I do have spare foundation, so even if we got crushed here badly, we can rebuild. That's not true. Wait, why do I have 100 fast transport belts? I swear we had an issue where I couldn't actually build transport belts. Maybe it requested construction materials when it was over another planet and it got 100 of them. 100 is just too strange a number for that not to have been what happened. Anyway, yeah, I think no matter what catastrophic damage could happen to the front, it can be rebuilt and then we could stumble over the finish line. 11,500 kilometers to go. Yeah, it is good music for this one. This is the Stellaris music kicking in. Robotic God is the name of the track. I take 2 tracks from Stellaris. I haven't played Stellaris in ages to see how the new music is, but Waldetoff does good work. I wonder what he does now. Is he still working for Paradox? Because from what I could see on the credits of their games, it's not... I don't see Waldetoff on Vicky music, for example. Then again, do I look? Vicky music's not my style. Let's put it that way. We're completely clogged on asteroids. Funnily enough, we're clogged on carbonic. Alright, goodbye, carbonic. And they're getting close, but not close enough. Give me another Stellaris track to finish it out, please. 5K to go. Doof. Ah, Yagamoth himself is around in chat. Always a pleasure to see you. Even more so right now, because I've been enjoying watching Yagamoth play a fair bit of his insane ribbon worlding in Factorio. Don't know if that's still ongoing, but it's always a pleasure to see the man. And he says, you've done quite excellent. You're almost there. Indeed we are. 100% achievements right around the corner. 1 megameter to go. And huzzah. God, that feels good. Sheer unadulterated victory. Express delivery is completed. Congratulations, you've beaten the game by dispatching an interstellar space platform. You can continue for as long as you like. Here are some things to do. Great. Upload, no thank you. Get me back to safety immediately, back to Aquilo. And I can just enjoy having this in the corner for a while as we make our return journey, which I think we can safely just not look at. We know it's going to be fine, but during that time, let's review on what needs to be done now. Congrats, well earned and well done, says Finalis. Yeah, no, keep patting my back and rubbing my ego. I could do with it. It's been a very, very stressful 36 and a half hours to get this done, but it has been done. Express delivery is here. So what does need to be done? I've seen better, says Andarius. Literally, where have you seen better? Because I was searching, trying to find this run, and nobody has done it. Well, nobody's actually posted it. And I do want to see it. Right, a lot of these things are just victory lap stuff, right? Building Spidertron is easy, just get it researched and done. Oh god, I haven't been researching, have I? Let's research Spidertron. Have it ready for the future. Because Spidertron is cool. Are any of these of note, though? Fusion power needs to be researched and done. The top level modules, I decided those weren't worth it for this run. Because they are expensive to make. They're power hungry and all that. But now we can get them and use them to our heart's content. Maximum quality. We're going to need these quality module 3s to make quality module 3s to make the quality stuff for the armor. Construct more machines using robots than manually. Not even close. I've constructed 47,000 things by hand. Maybe this is going to be the real grind achievement. I haven't even been supplied with a lot of items. We made a 205 length Factorio Express line. This is a fun one to do. This one will probably be our final achievement. Watch your step. We never once attracted the pentapods because we prematurely went and destroyed them. This is a good one not to get done until the end because it's a great warning sign if my factory on Gleba is coming under threat. A question is, can this ship make it towards Shattered Planet? And I surprisingly think it can. And I'm willing to try as long as we go slowly. And now, at least if it blows up, it's not a time commitment to rebuild it. Mass Production 3 is nowhere near as tedious as it was before because we can set this up with foundries and electro plants to do it on Vulcanus, essentially for free. Promethium, that's a victory lap thing from doing Shattered Planet. Tech Maniac, we have all the stuff we need to do for all the researches. I can finally destroy nests on Novice, so we can do that. Same with burning down trees and trashing trees. Getting the atomic bomb, making combat robots, and it's no big deal. Demolishers are easy to kill. Look at my shiny rare armor is essentially the precursor for No Room for More, where I need legendary stuff anyway. Legendary fish is kind of trivial when we get quality going, and then this is just launch a fish. So it's all victory lap stuff, really. Easy peasy. Shattered Planet is one thing I admire, but I'll never do it myself. Admire? It's really not fun or enjoyable or interesting in any way. There's nothing there. Spoiler alert. You can go the full 4 million kilometers to the Shattered Planet, and there's nothing there at all. It's just lots and lots of Promethium asteroids, which will lag your game, unbelievably so. I haven't done it myself, so I watched someone else do it because I knew I didn't want to sit down to that tedium. But we only need to go there and get enough Promethium science for the research. Let me raise yet another criticism I have towards the end game in this. So when you're told about Promethium science, you get told Used to increase... No, that's not what it's at. Yes, here we go. Going to the shattered planet. The remnants are floating in space, holding the resources to unlock powerful technologies. Okay, is that many lies in one sentence? It holds one technology. And is it powerful? Productivity on labs is pretty huge, but at that point, it's just to research more of this. So huzzah, you can research more of this to research more of this. Other infinite technologies as well, but none of them needed promethium. So yeah, I'm distinctly unhappy at the post-game in Space Age, but let's not have that take away from an amazing 36 hours of getting this run done. A quick review on the planets that we had. Starting base here, trapped behind our pipe wall. We still have our old broken pipes, showing us the extent of our home here. Mined out the copper here. We still have the mines and the mine setup that we had for our totally automated iron production. This is Gotlap. We had 90 minutes to get this train created. Ooh, wow, let's have it look like that. We did it in something like 75. I was very happy with that. Our primitive oil production, our massive oil storage, because for a long time, our entire base ran on these 2 oil pumps, which are, of course, completely exhausted now, but they go down to their minimum production of very little. We even had to stretch out of our initial base here to go and grab this stone, of which very little remains, and throw flamethrowers everywhere, because we grenaded the enemies until they became medium biters, and then we needed flame, which we got from the aforementioned pumps there. I want to move the energy back here. It feels bad having the engines taken away from here, but they were cannibalized for my setup. And then we expanded into a fairly typical novice base. I say typical, it's definitely heavily spaghettified, but it runs. Doesn't even need many imports. And I said I wouldn't just import science from Vulcanus, which I don't, although I do import low-density structures from Fulgora, because my production of these things is very, very sad, because my production of copper is very, very sad. We're still running on boilers. Sad times. But we have plenty of space and resources and power with which to expand. And evolution is still comfortably away from behemoth biters. So yeah, we go all this length and we still don't have behemoths on Deathworld. We then went to Fulgora, and I was a lot slower in getting Fulgora off the ground than I wanted to be, but nonetheless, recyclers recycling scrap, putting it into a cycle. It trims off the ice, it trims off the sprockets, it trims off the solid fuel, because you get a lot of that stuff and there's no real further use for it. And then round and round it goes, so I can peel off the... Oh, I've peeled off rather a lot of advanced circuits. Get the holmium, which is very important and notably drying up around here. Very notably drying up. To get the research done for electromag. We will definitely come back and make this better. Oh, we could do so much better on my beloved planet, Fulgora. And then we did Vulcanus, which took me far too long, but at least it's the main base. The only thing I'm really proud of on Vulcanus is the Make Everything network. Push button, receive items. It'll even make me the nuclear reactors. I want more nuclear reactors. Let's pull an alpha and ask for lots of them. Just put in a demand, and then it will be calculated and spat out to these. And then it will, after a buffer time has passed, because it randomly reselects whatever's coming in, it will spit out a desire for nuclear reactors, setting the recipe for all of these to nuclear reactors, setting these to demand lots of nuclear reactor items. Hey, there we go. And then suddenly these things demand a lot of goods, but whatever. We'll get those nuclear reactors done in no time flat. No time flat. It's kind of mesmerizing to watch. There's no spaceship wreck. Might be a modded start. That's not true. There is one little bit of spaceship wreck right here. Oh, there's another bit right here. Not my fault at all. The biters aggroed on the spaceship wreck. It was miles away from my wall. The wall was here, the spaceship wreck was here, and they went and just chewed the thing up. I was so heartbroken there. I wanted to save it. I would have happily extended my wall out to save the thing, but that happened before there was any possible way that we could do that. And Gleba. Gleba is the base that I'm actually proud of. It's dense, it's uncloggable. There's some problems, of course. I never should have double double belted in the fruits. Now we have a line of spoilage. But that line of spoilage doesn't actually do anything, because it's still just everything is going to come out on this side. And if somehow it does spoil, then the spoilage reaches the end, gets picked up, and put onto the spoilage part of the outer belt, filtered out and brought in to be stored for use in making carbon, or, if I need no more of it, into these to be burned. I love Gleba. It's so fun a planet. My only criticism of Gleba is that the biomes restrict where you can build things. And the biomes can have holes in them. I think I spotted a hole here, for example. Yeah, here we go. You can't actually put the overgrowth soil. I wish the overgrowth soil could just be put everywhere, so that you're not a slave to the biomes. But that's not really going to be a consideration for this run. Great balls of fire. We're still producing landfill. And we may yet need that stuff. And then finally there's Aquilo, which we built today. And we got all this done in about 3 hours. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, quick check on my stream timer. 3.5 hours of streaming today. And that includes my blathering. And Zingus is asking, did we win? We achieved the last failable achievement. Ah, Spidertron is well on its way as well. That dip from power is hilarious. Yeah, none of these other achievements are gated in any way. I could put the game down and load it up in 50 years from now and still get them. We won't wait that long, however. I will just set aside some time and chew through them. It's not going to be exciting. You're not going to see anything mind-blowing. In fact, you're just going to see my very mediocre factory building skills. But up until now, you've seen my world-class Deathworld management 100% skills. And I would urge anybody to also do this, and preferably stream it so I can sit back and enjoy it as well. Surely I deserve something. But it's not really about what I deserve, it's about what the glorious Win Lobby deserve. Let's choose that prediction outcome. Win or lose, 2/3 believed in me, and they're going to be paid for the privilege. We win. Go and give those 5 million points over to where they belong, and get the pop-out summary as well. Oh, this scene I have set up for it doesn't have that at the ready, does it? That's okay. I can grab it. Please grab my existing prediction window. And bang! Look at these glorious Herculean exemplar of victors. Grey Wolf, Wymph, Rainy Numbers, just pure numbers, Alec and Athelwyn all putting in the full 250,000. Those that couldn't afford it... Oh. And we got Blarg, Northrex, and Enrak coming in for the win as well. And there are lose lobbyists, not even worth mentioning. They're complete wastes of time. Why do they even exist? Do they even bleed or breathe? Seaspace and Rested Pandy putting in the 250,000. Can't believe Seaspace of all people wouldn't believe in my glorious victory today. But let's shut them away and shut myself away. It was a relatively short stream today. What can I say? I'm just too fast. Maybe I'll come back with something later today. Maybe more decommissioning or slaying of the Spire, but I think I very much deserve a nice lunch right now. So I will enjoy that, and until I'm back, either later today or back on Wednesday to resume non-space-related streams, because now Factorio is largely done and Star Sector is done, it is a cheers and a cheerio.